Chapter 1440. Cheng Shi V, Lin Cece, Movie Queen Lin. Your fans want to contract the entire lane for you. Are you sure you don't want to come out and experience the enthusiasm of the owner of the lane? Xiao Yao? Tell me, Lane Master and Fish Pond Master are not the same. One by one. What's going on? Lin Cece didn't seem to be part of the Heavenly God crew, right? Why did Cheng Shi scold her? Feng Xiao. According to the reports from the front line, Lin Cece's fans are blocking the road. Cheng Shi's car seems to be blocked, and the two sides started arguing. Drip drip drip. Lin Cece's fans have always been uncultured. This time, they've met Cheng Shi, a lunatic who insults people at the slightest disagreement. They're going to suffer. Sit back and watch the show. Miss Family Xiao. Upstairs, who are you calling uncultured? I think you guys are the ones who are uncultured. The C family's army immediately poured in, and the two sides began a war of words. I'm the only one who noticed that Yuan Ruo isn't on set. What's she doing in Old Chao City? Hey, big brother. How do you know that Yuan Ruo isn't on set? Wen Jun has two meanings. Look at her Weibo. She just posted it an hour ago. That airport doesn't look like Gu Chao City at all. Also, she said she's going home for the new year. Hey, little brother. You're right. This looks like the newly built airport in H City. I have some impression of it. Yuan family's Ruola, Sister Cheng Shi, can't you stop for a bit? Cheng Shi, Lin Cece, Movie Queen Lin, your fans are occupying the entire lane for you. Are you sure you don't want to come out and take a look? While they were discussing, Yuan Ruola suddenly forwarded Shi Shang's Weibo post. Everyone was now certain that Yuan Ruola was not in ancient Bridge City. So what did she go to do? He couldn't possibly be sending Lin Cece 1,000 miles away, right? The two of them didn't have much interaction before. No matter how she looked at it, today's incident was a probability event, and she just happened to run into it. Lin Cece was in the middle of filming when her assistant suddenly rushed in and whispered a few words in her ear. She took out her phone and flipped through it. The home page was flooded. She didn't dare to go out now. There were fans outside and it would cause chaos. When Shi Shang said that she was going to hit someone, she really meant it. After she posted on Weibo, she started the car and backed up a distance. Then, under the strange gazes of her fans, she suddenly sped up and made way for them. She didn't look like she was going to stop any time soon. After passing through the crowd, Shi Shang slowed down and stuck his head out of the car door. He raised his middle finger and said, "Why didn't you stand there and let me hit you? Weren't you quite bossy just now?" Everyone, Shi Shang went to the hotel she was staying at and washed up. When she turned on her phone again, she saw Lin Cece's Weibo post. Lin Cece V, Cheng Shi, you threatened my fans by saying that you would run them over with a car. Cheng Shi, aren't you going too far? Shi Shang was too lazy to forward the post, so he directly left a comment below. Soon, it would be pushed to the top. Cheng Shi V, haven't you heard that a good dog doesn't block the way? I was walking in the lane, but not only did your fans occupy the sidewalk, they even blocked the lane. How dare you block the lane? Who gave you the guts to do that? People like you should call the police and arrest you for causing trouble. Lin Cece V, then you don't have to say such vicious words. Cheng Shi V, vicious? At most, I'm just threatening you. How is that vicious? Tell me. Below, there were a bunch of ellipses. You sound so proud. What are you so proud of? Lin Cece couldn't win against Shi Shang. After a few sentences, she disappeared. Of course, her fans cursed Shi Shang's entire family. Shi Shang exited Weibo and texted Chao Qing. I'm here. Chao Qing replied quickly. 6 dots. What did that mean? Shi Shang thought about it for a while. Then, he thought about the storm online. He probably knew by now. Other celebrities have a hard time getting on the headlines. His host can do anything and get on the headlines. Sadly, she's a manager. What's the point of getting on the headlines? Treat me to dinner, boyfriend. Shi Shang continued to text. This time, Chao Qing took a while to reply. Okay. Where are you? A second message popped up. Taijin Hotel. Okay. After Chao Qing's reply, no matter what Shishang texted, he didn't get a reply. After about half an hour, Chao Qing asked him to go downstairs. Downstairs, a group of paparazzi came out of nowhere and surrounded the lobby. Of course, these people weren't here for her. But if she went downstairs, she still attracted some attention. Nobody took pictures of her. After all, she could get on the hot search list whenever she wanted. She was stealing business from them. They didn't need to increase her popularity. Flipping the table. What's the point of a manager being so popular? Chao Qing drove a car. Inside the car, there was a light fragrance. It wasn't bad nor was it stuffy. It smelled good. Shishang got into the car and walked over. Chao Qing instinctively avoided him. She tightened her grip on the steering wheel. Let's eat first. Chao Qing. Chao Qing pulled down her collar and looked away. She ignored Shishang and drove the car away. Chao Qing picked the place to eat. There weren't many people and it was a quiet place. However, there were no private rooms. Shishang thought he was doing this on purpose. So when Shishang ordered, he ordered the most expensive dishes. As expected, Chao Qing frowned but didn't stop him. She only ordered 2 dishes herself. Why aren't you home for the new year? Why are you here? Chao Qing placed the drink the waiter put down. Shishang didn't even bat an eyelid. His answer was smooth as if he'd said it countless times. You're the only one at home. Chao Qing froze. He didn't seem to pay attention to her family. The two of them quietly waited for the food to be served. After the food was served, Chao Qing suddenly asked, Aren't you going to tell me about it? You're talking about how Du Yayuan slandered you? That was a knot in Chao Qing's heart. But what did that have to do with her? It had nothing to do with him. Nothing. Would you believe me if I said it had nothing to do with me? Chao Qing's lips moved and she spat out 2 words, Feng Ci. She said he was Feng Ci. But he didn't lose his memory. He never had that name. She wasn't worried about Du Yayuan. Don't ask me now. You'll know when you remember. Shishang paused. You have your own judgment, right? You don't need me to tell you how you feel when you're with me. Chao Qing frowned. He did have his own judgment, but that was his judgment. He wanted to hear her say it. Then tell me about Du Yayuan. Shishang. Shishang scratched his head. Du Yayuan. You know that I was his manager back then. As his manager, I had to help him. Plus, you and I didn't know each other back then. To put it more accurately, the Cheng Shi back then wasn't me. What she did had nothing to do with me. I am me, Cheng Shi is Cheng Shi. You can think of it as her reincarnation. Chao Qing. Bull*T, keep bull*Ting. That was what Chao Qing was trying to express with her expression. Chapter 1441. After all, Shishang had told him everything he could. It didn't matter if he believed him or not. After dinner, Chao Qing sent Shishang home. She had no intention of staying and left quickly. Shishang was a little depressed. Was he that scared of her? EXM. As night fell, the film studio was bustling with activity. Shishang wandered the streets by himself and happened to see some people arguing. Shishang found a place to watch the drama and also live stream for the anti-fans. # a manager who live streams whenever she doesn't like it. What a toxic image. # God's mom. Why does that person look a little like that director Pei? Pear Blossom Light Makeup. Which director Pei? Not me. Who else? The director of the popular Dark Apostle. Marry Mr. Perfect. Cheng Shi, go over there. Get a clearer picture. Can't you be more professional as a live stream? It's good enough that I live stream for you. Why are you asking for so much? Are you going to pay me? Shishang said directly. However, It was noisy over there and her voice was muffled. But there were still some audience members who heard it and tipped Shi Shang. Shi Shang's lips twitched and he forced himself to move over there so the video could be clearer. The reason for the argument was simple. The man's wife and the mistress were fighting. The man suspected to be Director Pei was covering his face and trying to stop the fight. Because of Shi Shang's livestream, she had the honor of offending both Lin Cixi and Director Pei. However, Shi Shang didn't care. After the livestream, he left and went to get his wife. Chao Qing lived in a secluded area. The crew probably wanted her to rest well and not be disturbed by the commotion. When she was passing through a deserted alley, several men suddenly jumped out and blocked her way. "Hey, little girl, come and play with us brothers." One of the men wretchedly looked at her body. "What the F***ck? I was about to be raped. If I move my bangs away, I'm afraid I'll scare you idiots to death." "Play what? Human sandbag?" Shi Shang had already rushed over when she finished speaking. "I'll satisfy your shameless request. Everyone." "Ouch. Help." The sound of wailing resounded through the alley. Several burly men were lying on the ground, screaming. Shi Shang kicked the burly man beside his feet. "Who the hell sent you here?" No one." The big man broke out in a cold sweat from the kick. "Host, is your paranoia getting worse? It's better to be safe than sorry. Damn it, it's sick. Why are you being so arrogant with it?" Shi Shang bent down and took his phone from him. She forced the burly man to unlock the phone with his fingerprint. She first checked the call history and then the text messages. There was an MMS in the message that had not been deleted yet, and it contained her photo. Shi Shang glanced at the number and dialed it. "Host, is it really okay for you to call him like this?" Shi Shang replied to the system in his mind, "What's wrong with that? Greeting her face to face is my style. I don't want to talk. I just want to watch the host quietly." The person on the other end of the phone took a while to answer. Perhaps the signal was not good, but there was a strange sound of static. "Hello, is it done?" This voice, "Shui Yuhe, sorry to disappoint you. I'm doing very well." The person on the other end of the phone seemed to be shocked. She quickly hung up the phone and waited for Shi Shang to call again, only to remind her that the phone was turned off. Shi Shang, with such little guts, he actually dared to hire a hitman to pay someone to defile her? Damn it, he's retarded. Shi Shang looked at the burly men on the ground and silently called the police. "Call the police if you need help." Before the police arrived, Shi Shang would beat the burly men up. When they saw the police, they acted as if they had seen their own father. They had never thought that the police were so cute. When the police asked what had happened, the burly men wanted to lie. However, when they saw Shi Shang, who was ready to beat them up, they did not dare to lie. They immediately told the police what had happened. Shui Yuhe was not stupid. She had used a one-time use card to contact the burly men. It must have been destroyed by now. How could they find any evidence? Shi Shang did not expect the police to find anything, so he left after calling the police and recording the statement. After this delay, it was almost midnight. Chao Qing was already asleep when she suddenly felt something by her bed. She sat up in shock and turned on the light. When she saw who it was, her expression froze. "How did you get in?" "Through the window. I don't know how to walk through walls," Shi Shang answered confidently. Chao Qing looked out the window. He was on the 4th floor. What was the point of going through his room in the middle of the night? How could you be so confident? Are you a girl? But why did he feel a sense of familiarity? Have you showered? There was no way he was going to kick her out. Chao Qing settled for the next best thing. "I showered this afternoon." Chao Qing sighed, turned off the light, and laid back down. Shi Shang took off his jacket and curled into his arms. Chao Qing waited for her to make a move, but she didn't. She merely hugged him. Just like that, she felt at ease. Chao Qing leaned over and pulled her into her arms. Every time he hugged her, strange images would flash across his head. His heart would beat erratically. It was as if she was his everything. There was a resonance that came from the depths of his soul. It made him forget about his grudge against her. He only wanted to have her. Chao Qing thought about it. He really was sick. He was seriously sick and he didn't want to get treated. The end of the year was approaching. Less and less people were at the film studio. Everyone was preparing to go home. The crew of God didn't leave because they were in a rush. They were working overtime. Jiangsu had to go on a show during the New Year, so he couldn't stay. However, he was smart enough to tell Chao Qing not to follow him. He didn't want to get beaten up. So Chao Qing's mission was to eat and play with Shisheng. His savings continued to dwindle. Jiangsu didn't pay him much to begin with. If he continued to squander money like this, he would soon be eating dirt. On New Year's Eve, all the lights in the film studio were turned on. From above, the lights were bright. "I have a surprise for you." Shisheng covered Chao Qing's eyes and brought her to the highest point. Bang! Chao Qing heard the sound of fireworks exploding. She removed the hand that was covering her eyes. What she saw was the fireworks that bloomed in the night sky. The entire sky was dyed in a beautiful color. When the fireworks disappeared from the sky, they fell like shooting stars. An image flashed across Chao Qing's mind. It was a vast universe. Countless stars were falling towards one direction. In her vision, there was only one person. Chao Qing didn't believe what Shisheng said about resurrecting someone else's soul. But right now, she wasn't so sure. After spending time with her, the blurry images in his head began to clear up. Though they were all different from the person in front of him, he knew that they were the same person. Chao Qing stared at the fireworks. "Do we really know each other?" "Yes." Chao Qing stared at Shisheng's side profile. She was very pretty. But what he saw wasn't her face. Instead, he saw through her eyes and saw into her soul. Perhaps they really did know each other. The fireworks continued to bloom in the sky. The night was long. "I want to watch the fireworks with you." Chapter 1442. After the end of the year, all the film crews returned. Shisheng asked Chao Qing if she wanted to go with her. She could help him when she got back. Chao Qing hesitated but didn't say yes in the end. "I have things to do. Maybe later." Shisheng did some research on Jiangsu. His family was rich. Chao Qing, on the other hand, was the child of Mrs. Jiang and her ex-husband. The Jiang family didn't really like her. Especially after Mrs. Jiang passed away, for some reason, she became Jiangsu's assistant. Shisheng didn't force him. "Call me if you need anything." She would protect him and spoil him. But she wouldn't stand in his way. They could be intimate and have no secrets. But they needed their own space to deal with their own business. Chao Qing nodded. "You don't want a goodbye kiss?" Chao Qing hesitated before she leaned over and kissed him on the lips. Then she opened the car door and waved at him through the glass. Shisheng looked at him, amused. He was as cute as ever. The first thing Shisheng did when she got home was to meet with her new business partner, young Master Chen. Young Master Chen and Lin Junqing were often talked about in this industry. Lin Junqing was young and capable while young Master Chen was just waiting to die. But in the past half a year, young Master Chen seemed to have been reborn. His friends all thought it was magical. "Ms. Cheng, you don't come to me for no reason. What do you want this time?" Young Master Chen lifted his head from a pile of documents and asked the woman standing by the window. Shisheng turned around and smiled faintly. "I want to borrow the sword in your hand to make a sharper sword." Young Master Chen stopped what he was doing and sat up straight. "You want to do something big?" "What do I want to do?" Chen Ye's eyes narrowed. "Now the old man hasn't decided who will be the heir. My brothers are trying their best to show off in front of the old man. You know, I need a beautiful victory now. Tell me. First, kill someone for me." Cough, cough. Cough, cough, cough. Young Master Chen choked on his saliva and couldn't stop coughing. She spoke so arrogantly just now. Why did she ask for something so shameless? Young Master Chen calmed himself down and emphasized seriously, Agent Cheng, our Chen family does serious business. Do you think I don't know the background of your Chen clan? Stop spouting nonsense. Think of a way to kill Shui Yuhe first, and I'll give you the Zhang clan. How about that? The Zhang clan? That Zhang family? Shi Shang smiled and said, It's the Zhang family that you're thinking of. Are you interested? Young Master Chen thought about it and figured out why. That person named Chao Qing seemed to be related to the Zhang family. Chao Qing didn't seem to like her. She couldn't get Chao Qing, so she decided to destroy someone else's family? Fortunately, I'm not your enemy. Chen Yi sighed as he sent a message on his phone. Shui Yuhe is an agent. It's a bit difficult to kill her. You have to wait for a while. I'll let you know when the arrangements are made. Chen Yi completely understood that she wanted to kill Shui Yuhe after what she did to her before. Yes. Chen Yi put down his phone. By the way, my friend has a drama to shoot. Let your little artist try it out. No need. Chen Yi. Chen Yi wanted to give it a try, but he couldn't. How? Sad. When Yuan Ruola returned, Igor's spring conference had just started. Shi Shang took her to attend. When they arrived, they bumped into Lin Junqing. He walked past them calmly. He didn't greet them nor did he give them any attitude. It was as if he didn't know them. Yuan Ruola, on the other hand, grabbed onto Shi Shang's arm like a rabbit that saw a big bad wolf. Sister Cheng Shi, I met this man in my hometown too. He asked me to follow him and said he wants to make me famous. Is he crazy? Shi Shang. The male lead sure knows how to take advantage of everything. Then, what did you say? Yuan Ruola's face turned red. I called the police. Good job. Perhaps because Yuan Ruola rejected him too quickly, Lin Junqing became even more excited. He started to send her flowers and jewelry as if they didn't cost anything. Everyone in the industry knew that Lin Junqing had his eyes on a little artist who hasn't debuted yet. The key was that this artist's agent was Cheng Shi, the one who insulted people whenever she didn't like them. The one who beat up the best actor and actress whenever she didn't like them. The one who offended people whenever she didn't like them. Shi Shang offered Yuan Ruola a role, and Lin Junqing wanted to join in the fun and invest in it. Shi Shang offered Yuan Ruola an advertisement, and he wanted to join in. Shi Shang brought Yuan Ruola to an event, and he wanted to make an appearance too. Yuan Ruola was annoyed by him, and so was Shi Shang. However, he didn't do anything. He just quietly came out to make his presence known, making it impossible for others to find fault with him and beat him up. Sister Cheng Shi, I'm going crazy. Yuan Ruola grabbed Shi Shang's hand and shook it violently. I was filming today, and he actually came to the set and gave me flowers. You didn't see it, but the flowers almost drowned me. Now the people in the set are looking at me like that. Sister Cheng Shi, think of something. Then you can marry him. Him? He wanted to rape her. She didn't like someone who wanted to rape her. Sister Cheng Shi. Stop shaking me, Shi Shang pulled back his hand. What can I do? I can't go after you. Yuan Ruola's eyes were full of fear. I'm not a lesbian. Shi Shang looked disgusted. Even if I'm a lesbian, I wouldn't like you. Yuan Ruola looked like she had been hit hard. She was pretty, why wouldn't he like her? Lin Junqing really was annoying. If he kept doing this, who knew when that silly girl's brain would suddenly go haywire and her IQ would drop? Then, her CP would be for nothing. Shi Shang thought about it. After he asked for Yuan Ruola's opinion, he called young Master Chen. Ms. Cheng, why are you calling me so early? I had a meeting last night until 3 a.m. Can't you understand? Young Master Chen complained and thought she was calling to ask about his progress. He was about to comfort her. Who knew that she would suddenly ask, Young Master Chen, are you interested in getting a girlfriend? Huh? Young Master Chen's drowsiness disappeared right away. His voice was full of fear. Ms. Cheng, you like Chao Qing? Are you trying to have a foot in both camps? I sell my art, not my body. What was this idiot talking about? I'm asking you for a favor. You must have heard about how Lin Junqing is chasing Yuan Ruola. Yuan Ruola doesn't like him. You can pretend to be Yuan Ruola's boyfriend. Young Master Chen. He wasn't awake yet. He must be dreaming. He fell down and continued to sleep under the blanket. 3 seconds later, he sat up like a zombie. Ms. Cheng, I'm your business partner. I'm not here to be rented out. Plus, Lin Junqing. You want me to steal his woman? You can't do that. Everyone around you keeps comparing you to Lin Junqing. Don't you think he's annoying? Now that you have a chance to get revenge, you're really not going to do it? That's the girl he likes. Isn't that a slap in the face? Young Master Chen was silent. That was true. Ever since he was young. Ever since he was young. Ever since he was young. Ever since he was young, he had been compared to Lin Junqing. Back then, he was a model student. At first, he was motivated. But later, he realized that Lin Junqing was cheating and he couldn't catch up. So, he gave up. I'll think about it. Chapter 1443. Chan Yi thought about it for 3 days before he reluctantly expressed that he wanted to meet with Yuan Ruola. It was just an act, so Yuan Ruola wasn't very nervous. She had learned a lot during this period, and her timidity and cowardice were gradually fading away. Chan Yi didn't want to offend Shi Shang, so he finally decided that he would help Lin Junqing give up, but Yuan Ruola couldn't use his name to do whatever she wanted outside. Shi Shang looked at him as if he was an idiot. Chen Yi thought about the meaning of that look and quickly understood what she meant. With her agent, who would become a hot topic whenever she didn't like it, there was no need for his name. After the matter was settled, Chan Yi took Yuan Ruola to a public event and didn't refute when the reporters asked about their relationship. Therefore, Lin Junqing's little white flower was intercepted by Chan Yi and immediately became a big joke. What couldn't Lin Junqing get? At first, everyone thought that the little artist was just playing hard to get and would soon be won over by Lin Junqing, who knew that she had already established a relationship with Chen Yi. This was a slap in the face. Lin Junqing didn't fly into a rage as everyone imagined. Instead, he looked at the report with interest. After a long time, he closed the computer. The person behind her is the one from the Chen family. No wonder she's been reborn in the past 6 months. President, Miss Yuan. Lin Junqing narrowed his eyes. Since I know who's behind her, I have a way to deal with it. She has to come back to me sooner or later. No one had ever been able to snatch away the things he had set his eyes on. In April, the shooting of Celestial God was completed. At the same time, a major event happened. Shui Yuhe was sued by the company for misappropriating public funds. Shui Yuhe fled for fear of punishment and collided with a truck on the highway and died on the spot. Shui Yuhe really did misappropriate public funds. The previous plot was true, but the car accident that happened later was planned by Chen Yi. Chen Yi fulfilled the preconditions, and Shi Shang began to fulfill her transaction conditions. The Jiang family had problems one after another. Shi Shang didn't expect to receive a call from Jiang Su and ask her to meet. The meeting place was chosen by Jiang Su, in a park with few people. He looked a little dispirited. When they arrived at the Shi Shang, he only opened his eyes to take a look at her, then took a puff of smoke. In the smoke, his voice was a little hoarse. Cheng Shi, did you do what happened to our family? What do you think? Jiang Su put out the cigarette and handed her an envelope from the bag beside him. Miss Cheng, open it. Shi Shang opened the envelope expressionlessly. There was a stack of photos inside. The lighting was very dim, and the lights were intertwined. It was obvious that this was not a decent place. In the middle of the photo, a man was rolling around naked with his 2 daughters. The rest of the photos were similar. They were taken from different angles. Other than the men, the women were different too. Shi Shang's expression did not change at all. After reading it, he put it back into the envelope. Mr. Jiang, what are you trying to say with this? Ms. Cheng, I know you like Chao Qing a lot. You don't want to see him lose his reputation, do you? Jiang Su's face was dark. Shi Shang sneered. Don't worry. You'll lose your reputation before he does. Jiang Su frowned. God knows how many women he slept with. Miss Cheng, do you like men like him? Shi Shang suddenly made a move and flipped Jiang Su onto the ground. Thank you for choosing such a good place. It's easier for me to kill you. Jiang Su's eyes widened. Don't you dare. Why wouldn't I dare? Shi Shang snickered. You photoshopped these photos well. But if you want to fool me, you'll have to practice for a few hundred years. They're not photoshopped. They're real. Jiang Su gritted his teeth. Shi Shang's hands tightened and he used all his strength to push back. Jiang Su heard the sound of bones being dislocated. The woman above smiled faintly. A breeze blew past and lifted the bangs on her forehead. The hideous scar was suddenly exposed, making her look even more ferocious. Really? It's real. If you don't believe me, you can ask him yourself. Ask him what he's done. Ask him what the person you like is like. If these photos aren't real, why would he allow himself to be manipulated by me? Cheng Shi, don't tell me you don't have the guts to go? It must be hard to accept that the person you like is like this, right? I'm going to ask you one last time. Is this real? Jiang Su gritted his teeth. It's real. Shi Shang snickered. Jiang Su, I didn't touch you before because he stopped me. But unfortunately, he's not here. What? What do you want? Jiang Su was pressed onto the ground in a sorry state. He could smell the smell of feces mixed with the grass and dirt. Jiang Su's heart was filled with fear. What did she want? Chao Qing returned from outside and put down the things in her hands. When she looked up, she saw the woman sitting on the sofa. Her gaze drifted over with an indescribable coldness. Everything around her shook and twisted into an empty space. He was standing on the only piece of wood in the empty space. Chao Qing's heart skipped a beat. You. Why are you here? Come here. Shi Shang waved at her. Chao Qing listened to him and walked to the sofa. When her gaze landed on the photo on the coffee table, her face turned ugly. That's not me. Chao Qing blurted out. Jiang Su gave it to you, didn't he? You have to believe me. That's not me. I didn't say anything. Why are you so nervous? Shi Shang extended his hand. Chao Qing hesitantly accepted it. Shi Shang tightened his grip. If it's not you, then why did you listen to Jiang Su? Do you believe me? Jiang Su didn't answer. Her expression was too calm. He couldn't tell if she believed him or not. Shi Shang raised his head. Would you lie to me? Chao Qing shook her head. If you won't lie to me, then why wouldn't I believe you? Shi Shang pulled her to sit down. Since this was a test and she couldn't see through the plot, then the test should have ended. Why wouldn't he believe his own wife? Chao Qing seemed to sigh in relief. She placed all the photos on the table. He felt disgusted when he saw that face. Chao Qing took a deep breath. I need to avenge my mother. Jiang Su had something to do with my mother's death. Back then, after Du Yiyuan set him up, he was very depressed and spent most of his time at the bar. Jiang Su often caused him trouble. He found some women and drugged him. He ran fast and didn't fall for it. Then, something happened to his mother. Ever since his mother married into the Jiang family, her health deteriorated. At first, he didn't suspect anything and thought it was just what the doctor said. She was weak. But after his mother passed away, he realized something was wrong. Just as he suspected Jiang Su suddenly took out those photos and threatened him. Chapter 1444. In order to investigate this, he played along. However, Jiang Su did everything cleanly and he didn't find any evidence. That's what happened. Chao Qing stared at Shi Shang. Shi Shang looked at her speechlessly and resisted the urge to curse out loud. What was going on? You don't need to go back to Jiangsu. Move to my place. Shi Shang didn't continue. Soon, the Jiang family will be gone. We'll decide what to do with Jiangsu when the time comes. Chao Qing. Why did he have to move to her place? Obviously, Chao Qing had no right to refuse. Shi Shang called for a moving company and they moved his things over that very day. He should have argued, but every time the words reached his lips, he swallowed them back down. The Jiang family fell fast. So fast that it made people speechless. It was as if 1 second, they were all high and mighty. The next second, they were stepped into a quagmire with no chance to rise again. Young Master Chen took the opportunity to swallow the Jiang family. Of course, Lin Junqing wouldn't show mercy. However, Shi Shang didn't do all this to let the male lead take advantage of the situation. Lin Junqing didn't take advantage of the situation and was almost set up. By the time he realized what was going on, young Master Chen had completely taken over the Jiang family. Jiangsu disappeared from the public eye. Nobody knew where he went. Of course, now that the Jiang family had fallen, nobody cared where he went. Everyone assumed he went abroad to seek refuge. The reality was that Jiangsu was in jail. Shi Shang wanted to kill him right away. However, Chao Qing, that idiot, said she wanted to give his mother justice and let the law deal with him. To prevent Jiangsu from jumping around, Shi Shang spent a lot of effort to find out what Jiangsu had done all these years and sentenced him to life in prison. You're quite scary. That was what Chao Qing said to Shi Shang after the sentence was passed. Are you scared? Chao Qing shook her head. She didn't know why he wasn't scared of her. Even if she showed him how cruel she was, he wasn't scared. He liked her. When Chao Qing moved in with Shi Shang, Yuan Ruola was kicked out by Shi Shang. She didn't live here often and only came over occasionally. But to be kicked out like this made Yuan Ruola a little angry. A manager who forgot about her friends when she was in love. How infuriating. Sister Cheng Shi, are you going to let Mr. Chao act? Yuan Ruo saw that Shi Shang was writing and drawing, as if he was planning something. She leaned over to take a look and was shocked. I owe him an Oscar. Yuan Ruola. Are you very free these days? Shi Shang looked up at the naive and sweet female protagonist. The latter nodded. That's right. The crew won't be filming me for the time being. But Sister Cheng Shi, I heard that Celestial God is promoting. Aren't you going to bring me along? You're the 4th female lead. What's the point of going? Yuan Ruola took an arrow to the knee. What's wrong with her being the 4th female lead? The 4th female lead was not human. You can't give up on any chance of exposure. Isn't this the rule of an artist? Also, is this something a manager like you should say? Hashtag continue to suspect a fake agent series. Hashtag I've heard about this drama. I heard that Du Yayuan has already been selected as the male lead. Sister Cheng Shi, are you going to compete with him for the male lead? Yuan Ruola changed the topic. Mr. Chao has just entered this industry. Aren't you making too big of a leap for him? Shi Shang put away his pen and looked arrogant. This is his starting point. Yuan Ruola. Although she felt that her manager was talking nonsense, why did she believe it so easily? It was awkward. She should go and memorize the script. Celestial God was going to be broadcast in July during the summer break. There was less than a month left before the broadcast, so the promotional time was tight. Yuan Ruola, the 4th female lead, did not receive any notice. The main reason was that the director and the cast did not want to see her manager. During the promotional time, someone realized that the 2nd male lead was missing. Shi Shang's anti-fans immediately started to speculate whether she had caused Jiangsu to disappear. The comments were so long that they could almost form a novel. Cheng Shi V. Can you guys be more professional? You can criticize me if you want, but why are you suddenly acting like a detective? Meng Lonxing. Entertainment. Entertainment. Don't be afraid. We still love you and will be your anti-fans. It's mainly because you haven't been doing anything. We're bored. Hey, big brother. Exactly. What have you been doing? You're not on the headlines anymore. Are you done with your career? Cheng Shivi, I've been busy. Hey, big brother. What have you been busy with? Wasn't Little Fairy filming recently? She's your only artist. How busy can you be? Cheng Shivi, can't I have another artist? Why are you people so scary? Every day has good news. It's scary if someone is willing to be with you. You've offended everyone in the entertainment industry. A bunch of people agreed. After the topic jumped 1,000 miles, it was suddenly pulled back to the topic of celestial God. Perhaps it was because the lead cast's life was too rough, but the promotional effect was surprisingly good. They also put in a lot of effort into the special effects. Instead of the cheap special effects, the promotional clips made everyone want to watch it. In July, Celestial God started broadcasting. That day, the ratings reached a new high. At the same time, Shishang took Chao Qing to audition for a large-scale fantasy historical drama called Phoenix Spell. Although it was also based on a popular IP, compared to Celestial God, Phoenix Spell was more eye-catching. Chao Qing's appearance attracted a lot of attention. Jiang Su used to take her everywhere he went. Everyone who interacted with Jiang Su knew who he was. What's he doing here? Didn't Jiang Su say he left the country? Is he back? Hey, is that Cheng Shi with him? Jiang Su and Cheng Shi don't get along. Why are they together? That's weird. How come I never noticed that Jiang Su's assistant was so handsome? Discussions were everywhere. Chao Qing had learned to ignore these people's discussions. She walked to the waiting room with Shishang. Shishang was going to give Chao Qing some information and asked her to wait here. Right after he left, Songya walked in with a bunch of people surrounding her. Before, she and Jiang Su pretended to be together. However, within 2 months, they broke up peacefully. The reason was that their personalities didn't match. Everyone in the industry knew what happened. Some people scolded her, but after a while, Songya was still famous. It didn't affect her. Hey, Mr. Chao. When Songya saw Chao Qing, she walked straight to her. Everyone in the waiting room quieted down and stared at Songya. Chao Qing looked up at her and didn't say anything. Songya was a master at diffusing awkwardness. Mr. Chao, I heard Jiang Su left the country. Why didn't you go with him? Asterisk, this is a fake group. Little Fairy, let's vote. Cherub. So explicit. Little Fairy, you've changed. Little Fairy, expressionless. I'm too lazy to write a drama. Cherub, why don't you say you're too lazy to eat? Little Fairy, yeah, I haven't eaten all day. Cherub, because you're shameless. Chapter 1445. Songya stared at her fingers and her lips curled up in mockery. Mr. Chao, you don't think you can survive in this industry without Jiang Su, do you? All I can say is, Mr. Chao sure is naive. You think just anyone can do this? Songya extended her well-maintained hand as if she wanted to touch Chao Qing. However, before she could touch Chao Qing's collar, someone grabbed onto her hand and twisted it. Crack. Ah! Songya screamed out in pain. Her pretty face was twisted in pain, making her look a little ugly. When she realized who was holding onto her hand, Songya screamed at her like she had lost control. Cheng Shi, let go of me. Shishang's eyes were cold. His eyes were so dark that there was no light. When he stared at you, you felt fear. Songya's words were stuck in her throat and she couldn't get them out. After about 10 seconds, Shishang let go of her hand in disdain. He took out a tissue and wiped his hand. Then he glared at her. Songya, do you feel good telling my people what to do? Songya held onto her hand that was probably broken. She was in so much pain that she broke out in a cold sweat. How was this woman so strong? One squeeze and she couldn't use any strength. But how could she lose in front of Cheng Shi? Song Ye endured the pain and straightened her back. Cheng Shi, who do you think you are? One word from me and everything you've done will go down the drain. Then you sure are capable. Shi Sheng didn't think much of it. Are you scared now? Song Ye got closer to Shi Sheng and lowered her voice. Her tone was vicious. Back then, I forced you out of the entertainment industry. Today, I can make sure you can't be a manager. It wasn't easy for you to get to where you are today. Back then, Cheng Shi and Song Ye debuted together. Cheng Shi was always better than Song Ye. Cheng Shi was about to soar into the sky, but Song Ye refused. That was how Cheng Shi got disfigured. Then, Song Ye used all sorts of methods to force Cheng Shi out of the entertainment industry. Song Ye played an important role in Cheng Shi's enemies list. However, Cheng Shi didn't want revenge. Her dream was to become the best manager in the world. Then you're great. Shi Sheng distanced himself from Song Ye and remained expressionless, as if Song Ye had merely said that the weather was nice today and they should go out for a walk. Song Ye was surprised by Shi Sheng's nonchalance, but she immediately understood that she was no longer the Cheng Shi of many years ago. But she was not the Song Ye of many years ago. Song Ye gritted her teeth. We'll see. Just as Song Ye turned around, Shi Sheng suddenly threw Song Ye onto the ground under everyone's strange gazes. She lowered her head and looked at Song Ye, whose face was ashen and whose eyes seemed to be burning with anger. Miss Song, this is the consequence of disrespecting my people. The entire waiting room fell into a dead silence as soon as he finished speaking. Someone shifted their gaze to Chao Qing. The latter merely stared at them coldly and maintained her posture. How could he be so calm when a woman stood up for him? Fortunately, this was a modern plane. If this was a plane where killing people was not illegal, she would have killed countless times. You should be glad, humans. The incident where Shi Sheng hit Song Ye became a hot topic. Hashtag Cheng Shi hit someone again. Hashtag Cheng Shi, Song Ye, Phoenix Bell. Hashtag Little Fong Fong. The Phoenix Bell is still casting and Cheng Shi is already hitting someone. I hope the director is traumatized. Hey, big brother. That's not right. Yuan Ruola is filming today. I just saw her Weibo. What is Cheng Shi doing at the Phoenix Bell audition? She actually brought someone new? Seductive at night. If she really brings someone new into the cast, then the Phoenix Bell will be another big show. Let's wait and see. Because Song Ye hurt her hand, her assistant wanted to send her to the hospital. However, Song Ye was here to audition for the female lead. If she left now, she would miss the opportunity. She could not miss this opportunity and would not let that woman get away with it. So, she didn't listen to her assistant. Plus, the director and producer were all acquaintances. All she needed to do was say a few words and there was no way Chao Qing would pass. Song Ye did it. Chao Qing was related to Jiang Su and was used by Jiang Su as a punching bag. Someone like that had no background, so why would they want to offend Song Ye? Therefore, after Chao Qing went in, even though they found the man to be very professional and talented, they got into the role quickly. Still, they collectively crossed her out. Song Ye waited outside for the results. Her chin was slightly high as she taunted Shi Sheng. Shi Sheng looked down at his phone and ignored Song Ye. Gotcha. The door was pulled open and Chao Qing walked out. Shi Sheng looked up. He didn't need to guess to know the result. Song Ye looked proud. Cheng Shi, in this industry, power, money, and connections are all indispensable. You think you can get everything by hitting people? Let's go. Shi Sheng ignored Song Ye and dragged Chao Qing away. Cheng Shi, you admit defeat just like that? Song Ye didn't want to let Shi Sheng go. Are you not as good as you were back then? Shi Sheng turned around and faked a smile. Admit defeat? The best part is yet to come. She wanted them to beg him to come back. So what if you have connections? I have money. Song Ye was probably shocked by Shi Sheng's last look because she didn't react for a while. By the time she did, Shi Sheng and Chao Qing had disappeared. She frowned and felt a little unsettled. But then again, she had no connections. She was just bluffing. What could she do? Thinking about it made Song Ye feel more at ease. She left with her assistant. The female lead had been decided. She was the one. Very quickly, the Phoenix spell released the roles. But those names were all already taken. Sheng didn't see any new artist that resembled Cheng Shi. She asked if Cheng Shi had purposely gone to hit Song Ye. At around 5 in the evening, 5 hours and 20 minutes had passed since the last official announcement of the Phoenix Tactics. The Phoenix Tactics once again released a list of roleplays. It looked similar to the last one. However, the names of the male and female protagonists in the first place were empty. The netizens were dumbfounded. What was going on? The company didn't give a clear explanation. They were pretending to be dead. They were busy trying to contact Sheng. However, Sheng's phone was turned off. They had no way to contact Chao Qing. Not long after they released the list, they received a call from the investor. The investor made up a story about how Chao Qing didn't look good and demanded to change the lead. Nobody knew what the higher-ups were up to. These days, the rich were the boss. Plus, this investor wasn't easy to deal with. What could they do? They had no choice but to remove the male and female leads. Luckily, they had just finished choosing and hadn't entered the next stage yet. Or else things would be much more fun. Chapter 1446. Others might not know the reason, but the director of God knew. The investor this time was someone from Chan Ye's side. Chan Yi and Cheng Shi's relationship was unclear. Plus, Cheng Shi did not get the role when she brought people to the set. Based on his limited experience with Cheng Shi, she looked quite fierce, but she wasn't someone who would run amok. If it was just a normal failure, she would not care. But when she heard that someone was trying to trip her up, she was furious. The director of God sent a sincere congratulatory message to the director of Phoenix Tactics. The two directors were not on good terms, and now they were fighting on Weibo. Everyone was dumbfounded. What kind of twist was this? In a villa. Song Ye received a call from her agent and threw her phone. She was so angry that she smashed everything in the room. So that was what she meant when she said those words. Cheng Shi, what right do you have? Ring ring ring. The villa's landline suddenly rang. Song Ye was in a fit of anger. She did not want to pick it up and let it ring. The other party was also persistent. It rang 10 times and did not stop. Who is it? Song Ye answered the phone. Her tone was very unfriendly. Little Ye, calm down. The agent's voice came from the other end of the phone. Cheng Shi came prepared. If you panic now, you will fall into her trap. You must calm down. I'm on my way to you. Let's meet and talk. Perhaps the agent's words woke Song Ye up. Although she could not suppress her anger, she forced herself to calm down. She could not fall into Cheng Shi's trap. I know. Song Ye hung up the phone and sat on the sofa. She rubbed her hair and waited for her agent to come over. There were many movies that had started filming this year, but none of them could compare to Phoenix Tactics. The agent arrived quickly. She looked at the mess on the floor and could only choose not to see it. She sat opposite Song Ye. I've already contacted the investor. The other party's attitude is very firm. There is no room for negotiation. Then this role is not fated with me. Song Ye raised her head. Her eyes were red and she looked very scary. You know that there is only one investor for Phoenix Tactics. The investor has the final say. If he wants to change, the director will not dare to say anything. The manager tried to be tactful. No matter how Cheng Shi got in touch with the other party, she's in an advantageous position now. We're in a passive position now. The manager glanced at Song Ye. She gritted her teeth and clutched the pillow tightly, as if she thought the pillow was Cheng Shi. She took a deep breath. Xiaoye, you're underestimating Cheng Shi. She has a backer now. Song Ye gritted her teeth. Who? She had clearly fallen so miserably, so who could still be her backer? You know young Master Chen? Song Ye frowned. Of course, she knew that young Master Chen and young Master Lin were famous in this circle. Young Master Chen was famous for being playful, while young Master Lin was famous for being young and promising. She had also paid attention to the relationship between Chan Yi and Yuan Ruola, an artist under Chenxi. Yuan Ruola's relationship with Chen Yi was made public. She also began to show up and become more and more famous. At first, some people thought that Chen Yi was supporting her, and so did she. But later, they found that the role she took had nothing to do with Chen Yi. You don't mean it's Chen Yi? Song Ye seemed to have been enlightened. That investor was related to the Chen family. Song Ye's eyes were full of disbelief. How did she get on board with young Master Chen? I don't know about that, but she has young Master Chen backing her now. We should avoid the spotlight first. The manager advised Song Ye. Young Master Chen. Song Ye didn't know what she was thinking. Her expression kept changing. Although this man knew how to play, he had never been involved with small celebrities in the circle. His relationships were very clean. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been compared to Lin Junqing. I can't accept it. Song Ye spat out these words after a long while. She had finally suppressed her into the dust. She didn't want to see her make a comeback. Shishang's phone was turned off for 2 days. It was only turned on the 3rd day. The moment it was turned on, she was bombarded with all kinds of messages, most of which were from the Phoenix technique. She had just finished reading when her phone rang. The ringtone startled the man lying on the sofa. He looked up in confusion. The script slipped from under him and fell to the ground with a crisp thud. What time is it? He asked. It's past 7. The man was startled and quickly got up. Why didn't you call me? I'll go make you dinner. Chao Qing hurried into the kitchen. Only then did Shishang pick up. The person on the other end was surprised but also cautious. Miss Cheng, we feel that Mr. Chao fits the image of the male lead of our movie very well. Previously, we were thoughtless and caused trouble for you and Mr. Chao. We are very sorry. When are you free to bring Mr. Chao over so that we can talk in detail? The person on the other end of the line spoke at length. Shishang only responded once in a while. He didn't say whether or not he would go. The person on the other end of the line was very nervous. In the end, Shishang hung up. He still didn't give a final answer. Chao Qing quickly came out with dinner. We ran out of ingredients. Let's go to the supermarket. Oh sure. Chao Qing smiled and changed the topic. Aren't you afraid they'll get mad at you for leaving them hanging? Go ahead. I'm not afraid of them. Shishang pulled out a chair and sat down. You belong to me. You deserve to be respected and feared. You. Chao Qing thought about it and found an adjective, spoil me? You're the only one I'll ever love. Chao Qing's heart skipped a beat. She glanced over the woman's face but didn't make eye contact. But, what if I spoil you too much? Shishang smiled and didn't answer her question. He picked up his chopsticks and started to eat. Chao Qing looked at him curiously. After a while, she sat down and continued to think about that question. Why didn't she answer? Why? After dinner, when Chao Qing was cleaning up, she heard Shishang's voice. If you spoil her too much, then you'll continue to spoil her. The coldness faded away and was replaced by an indescribable gentleness. Chao Qing froze for a while. Then, her lips slowly curled into a smile. She took the utensils into the kitchen. When she couldn't see, he maximized his happiness. How nice. Chao Qing quickly washed the dishes, changed her clothes, and waited for Shishang to leave. Why are you so happy? Shishang changed his shoes and asked Chao Qing, who had already changed her shoes. Am I? Chao Qing asked back. Of course. You used to take a lot of time. You're never this fast. Shishang took his keys and bag, walked out, closed the door, and held onto his hand. What are you so happy about? Chao Qing shook her head. I don't know. I'm just happy. As long as you're happy. Shishang kissed him on the cheek. I'm afraid you can't go out like this in the future. Hurry up and enjoy yourself. You're so sure I'll be popular? How can the person I support not be popular? The woman's voice was crisp and clear. It echoed in the hallway, confident and arrogant. Chapter 1447. Shi Shang and the crew were at a stalemate for a few days before they went to discuss the contract. After the contract was settled, the female lead's role was redrafted. Unfortunately, it was someone they knew. The owner of the driveway, Lin Cece. What happened in Guqiao City last time made Lin Cece remember Shi Shang. Naturally, she didn't treat him nicely. Manager Cheng Shur is smart. Even Song Ye got kicked out. Lin Cece said in a strange tone. Shi Shang looked over to Lin Cece calmly. If Song Ye doesn't get kicked out, it'll be your turn. Speaking of which, you should thank me. You. Lin Cece choked and her face turned red. Thank her? How was she supposed to thank her after what she said about her on Weibo? The person in front shouted, "Start," and Lin Cece left in a huff. At the press conference, Chao Qing received all the attention. Some people even asked tricky questions. For example, why did Jiang Su suddenly want to enter the entertainment industry when he went missing? Jiang Su didn't get along with his manager. Did he work with his manager to go against Jiang Su? Chao Qing handled it well and didn't need Shi Shang to step in. She silently remembered the reporters who asked tricky questions and blacklisted them. Cheng Shivi, my young man is growing up. Picture. Hey, big brother. Number 1. Ku Xingyun. I'm curious about the male lead who got in through the back door. What's his relationship with Cheng Shi? Little Ming, get the hell out of here. Improper relationship. If heaven loves you, Chao Qing? I know him. He was a super famous actor back then. Then, for some reason, he disappeared. I heard he offended someone. If Heaven Loves You posted about Chao Qing's glorious past. Just as he said, Chao Qing was a super famous person. Sadly, after he graduated, he didn't make a name for himself in the entertainment industry. Instead, he disappeared. That year's students all sighed. Cheng Shivi, same old rules. You can talk bad about me, but you can't talk bad about my artist. Below, a bunch of comments were made. The netizens were confused. The haters here sure were weird. Chao Qing graduated from the most famous Chinese drama academy. Though she didn't act for a few years, she still had her foundation. She had also practiced hard recently. After filming started, she quickly got the hang of it. Shi Shang didn't expect Song Ye to use her connections to get in. She only said she didn't let Chao Qing be the female lead, but she never said she couldn't accept other roles. Now that Chao Qing. This was the psychological trauma of the second female lead. The second female lead and Chao Qing had scenes together, so there was a lot of physical contact. Everyone on set listened to Shi Shang yell, "Cut." Director. Asterisk flips table asterisk why don't you be the director? I don't want to shoot anymore, the director said angrily. Everyone stood there awkwardly for a while before dispersing. Chao Qing walked over, took off her thick robe, and placed it next to the Shi Shang. It's so hot. Shi Shang took the fan from the table and fanned him. Let's make a deal. Chao Qing tilted her head. Which 3 chapters? Shi Shang stretched out his fingers and quickly listed 3 conditions. First, don't film any kissing scenes. Secondly, he was not allowed to have any physical contact with female artists. Third, no nude scenes. Okay. Chao Qing agreed without hesitation. There were many scenes she could use. That was okay, though it was a little difficult. Phoenix breathing technique didn't go as smoothly as God of Heaven. First, Shi Shang yelled, "Cut." Then, during the emotional scenes, Chao Qing's facial expressions were fine. But there was something wrong with her actions. Every time she did a scene, a group of people would be busy. The director had never felt so tired from filming. Cheng Shi. Songya had just finished filming a scene when she ran into Shi Shang outside the set. Her expression was dark. You think I can't do anything to you just because you've hooked up with young Master Chen? Hooked up with young Master Chen? Shi Shang was a little surprised by this statement. How do you know young Master Chen didn't hook up with me? Songya was impressed by Shi Shang's shamelessness. Who was young Master Chen? Hook up with you? Was there something wrong with this woman's brain? What you see and what you hear may not be the truth. Shi Shang had an evil smile on his face as he walked past her. At that moment, Songya felt like the person who walked past her wasn't a person, but a monster. Songya clenched her fists. Her nails dug into her palms and she felt waves of pain. Damn it! Every time she crossed paths with her, she felt like she was inferior. Songya understood that this was a problem with her aura. But why did she have such a powerful aura? Ms. Song, it's time to change. The assistant reminded her softly. The next scene was about to start. What do you mean change? I'm not filming anymore. Songya angrily scolded and walked out in a hurry. The assistant. Because Songya suddenly left the set, the director was furious. However, Songya was an award-winning actress and he didn't want to offend her too much. Therefore, he had no choice but to call for the next scene. I won't let her go. I want her dead. The third female lead, who was standing across from Chao Qing, was screaming with all her might. Her face was ferocious and crazy. She won't get what I can't get. You two can go to hell together. Cut. The director used the megaphone to yell, Explosives technician, get ready. Mr. Chow, Ms. Lin, come over here and watch. Don't be too careful. There was an explosion here. For scenes like this, there were always professionals present. Normally, there wouldn't be too much danger. Chao Qing memorized the route the explosives technician drew and followed along a few times. Then, the director called for action. When the third female lead shouted, "Go to hell!" the explosion began. Chao Qing and Lin Cece dashed out. Just as Chao Qing was about to leave, the ground under Lin Cece's feet exploded. Lin Cece pushed Chao Qing out of fear. Chao Qing deviated from the correct path and stepped on the explosion. In the next second, the explosion began and dust filled the air. The moment the explosion happened, Chao Qing was pushed down by someone and was tightly shielded under his body. All she could hear was the sound of the explosion. She couldn't see who was on top of her, but she knew who it was. The sound of the explosion slowly subsided. Then came the sound of people panicking. The flow of space seemed to have been slowed down by someone. Xiao Shang. Chao Qing's hands trembled as she held onto Shi Shang's shoulders. Xiao Shang, are you okay? Shi Shang shook his head and propped himself up. You remember now? Chao Qing nodded. At that moment, countless memories flooded her mind. Chao Qing looked at him nervously. Are you okay? What can happen to me? Shi Shang got up from him. Get up. Chao Qing obediently took her hand and stood up with her. She scanned Chao Qing's body to make sure there was nothing wrong with her. Then, she hugged Chao Qing. The crew happened to see this scene, and the clamor suddenly stopped. ## today's sunflower-flavored ticket hashtag. Chapter 1448. Just now, when the explosion happened, none of them dared to rush in. But she did. Though the explosives used in the film were processed, once they hit someone, the consequences would be severe. However, she rushed in without any hesitation. Everyone quietly dispersed and made space for them. They weren't blind. The two of them had been throwing dog food around so much. How could their relationship be pure? Lin Cece was fine. She was just a little scared. Someone helped her to the side to rest. She watched as the couple hugged each other and taunted her assistant. Perhaps because she was still angry, she took a few more photos and posted them on Weibo. To know that an artist who hasn't even debuted, getting involved with her manager was not a good thing. Most fans these days wanted their idols to be single. Shi Shang received Yuan Ruola's call and finally asked Chao Qing to let go of him. While she was on the phone, he checked out his own body. He seemed to be unhappy and his brows were tightly furrowed. Got it. Shi Shang hung up and turned on the camera. Come, let's take a photo. Chao Qing lifted her head. Her brows relaxed and she smiled obediently. But his face. He wiped off his smile and turned his head away from the camera's range. It was an unfamiliar face. Though he had memories of this body, it was still unfamiliar to him. It was so awkward to make such an expression. Shi Shang. Shi Shang sighed and hugged him. Then, he took a photo and posted it on Weibo. Cheng Shi, vs, that's right. What's wrong with him being my man? 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 Photo, Yuan Ruola, v support. Cheng Shi, vs, that's right. What's wrong with him being my man? 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 Photo, Yuan Ruola reposted Shi Shang's Weibo at once. Look at that shameless one. Ha, Chao Qing is younger than you. Is she your sugar baby? Pretty boy. The road darkened. Ha, v sugar baby? No way. Light and clouds. If he wasn't a sugar daddy, why did Cheng Shi put in so much effort to support him? In order to become famous, these people had no integrity at all. Big sister in the sky. Age is not a problem, gender is not a problem, true love is enough. Just now, my friend said that there was an accident during the filming of the explosion. Cheng Shi rushed in without saying a word. She's my true love. Please click on the link for more details. No one knew who had taken the photo in the link. Although it was a little blurry, they could still see the Shi Shang rushing in during the explosion and pouncing on the people inside without any hesitation. The people below expressed that this was true love. Do you love me? Are you willing to disregard your own safety when I'm in danger just to protect me? These questions were answered very quickly on the surface, but when it really came down to it, how many people could actually do it? Just because of this, he had become a fan. The explosion was a complete accident, but whether or not Lin Cici's push was an accident remained to be seen. The director spoke to Lin Cici for a while. Then, she slowly walked over. I'm sorry. I was scared just now. That's why I pushed you. Though she said she was apologizing, her tone didn't sound like she was apologizing at all. Chao Qing lowered her head and didn't speak. Shi Shang placed a glass of milk in front of her and looked up to Lin Cici. If you don't want to apologize, then don't force yourself. After all, I never planned on forgiving you. You're not Chao Qing. Lin Cici instinctively talked back. Her words are my words, Chao Qing suddenly said. Though the man's head was still lowered, Lin Cici felt a sense of eeriness and terror from him that she had never felt before. Standing next to him, she found it hard to breathe. Before, Chao Qing only looked cold and arrogant. But now, Chao Qing was a completely different person. Lin Cici stepped back and her limbs felt cold. The color on her face drained away. She stuttered as she apologized. This time she was much more sincere. I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. Let's go home. Chao Qing held onto the glass of milk and looked at Shi Shang. Disbelief flashed across Lin Cici's eyes. The moment he looked at Shi Shang, his entire demeanor changed. He was no longer scary and oppressive. It was as if light shone down from above his head and enveloped his entire being. It was warm and cozy. Beat him up first. Shi Shang rolled up his sleeves and looked over to Lin Cici. Chao Qing didn't stop him. Instead, she stared at the glass of milk in her hand. Nobody knew what she was thinking. Lin Cici's face turned white. Cheng Shi, don't come over. Help. Since Shi Shang wouldn't stop, Lin Cici turned around and ran. Shi Shang grabbed onto her from behind and his voice entered her ears. He's fine. But if something happened to him, you wouldn't be able to pay for it even if you had multiple lives. She wasn't an idiot and she wasn't a saint. It didn't matter if you did it on purpose or not. If you touched him, you had to pay the price. The matter of Shi Shang hitting Lin Cece was immediately exposed on the internet. The netizens were no longer as passionate about it. Below the comments were comments like, "I knew I was going to get hit. I got hit again, who's next?" Shi Shang had taken Chao Qing home a long time ago. The first thing he did when he got home, he stared at himself in the mirror for a long time. It was as if looking at himself would bring back his face. Xiao Sheng. Chao Qing called out to the person outside. "What's wrong?" Chao Qing walked out and pointed at his face. "Do you like this face?" Shi Shang. Why did he have to ask such a stupid question in such a serious manner? Shi Shang waved his hand and asked her to come over. Chao Qing pursed her lips and walked up to him. She pulled him into her arms. "Do you like this face? If you weren't in his body, I wouldn't even be able to look at him." Chao Qing stared at her for a few seconds. Then, she leaned in close to her neck and rubbed against it. Shi Shang supported himself with the table behind him and held onto the edge. Chao Qing rubbed against him for a while and then bit down. Hiss. Shi Shang gasped. Chao Qing loosened her grip a little but didn't let go. When Chao Qing thought it was about time, she slowly let go. She circled her tongue around his neck and kissed her all the way up. "Why do you like biting me so much?" He was scared that she'd be hurt. But that was the only thing he was determined to do. "I want to put my mark on you to prove that you're mine." Shi Shang's lips twitched. "Are you a dog?" She wanted to put a mark on him? "I belong to you. Asterisk, this is a fake group. Little fairy, I belong to you. Your tickets belong to me. Cherub. Hee hee. Little fairy, what do you mean by that? Cherub, we don't want you. We want CEO Sheng. Little fairy, no love, no love. Go find your CEO Sheng. She doesn't like you anyways. Goodbye." Chapter 1449. Chao Qing didn't do anything with Shi Sheng. He was a little disgusted by his own body, so he hugged himself into a ball. Shi Sheng took a long time to calm down. Following that, the crew realized that their male lead seemed to be a little schizophrenic. When facing his manager-cum-girlfriend, he was simply a little, white angel face. The main reason was that his face wasn't as soft and cute as a teenager's. It wasn't appropriate to describe him as a cherub. When he was with the crew, he was ready to turn evil and kill them at any moment. All day long, the crew was shrouded in a terrifying atmosphere of, "Will I be killed?" Everyone on the internet was arguing about the two's relationship. The pro side thought, the woman is unmarried and the man is unmarried. There's nothing wrong with them being together. The pro side thought, as a manager, Shi Shang shouldn't be with his artist. Everyone in this industry knows how to avoid suspicion. The pro side argued, Shi Shang isn't signed to any company. There won't be any bias. It's her freedom to date her artist. The pro side argued, even if she's not signed to any company, dating an artist will hinder the artist's future. The two sides argued non-stop. The two parties were either flaunting their love or showing off their relationship. They didn't give a damn about the pro side at all. He was like a master who said, "You guys argue all you want. I'll flaunt my relationship and piss you off." Lin Cece was taught a lesson by Shi Shang and didn't dare to speak up again. Songya was busy looking for a backstage spot and didn't have time to find fault with Shi Shang. The crew treated Chao Qing like she was their queen. Because of this, they realized that things were progressing much faster. No matter where the Phoenix Chant crew went, they became a beautiful scene. At the Phoenix Chant celebration, everyone toasted and toasted. Nobody dared to drink with Chao Qing. It was a lively scene, but they couldn't feel anything from him. "Mr. Chao," Songya took the opportunity when Shi Shang was called out by the director to walk up to Chao Qing, "Let me toast to you." Chao Qing looked up at her and then lowered her eyes. She didn't accept the toast. Songya felt a little awkward. Everyone at the table looked over. Mr. Chao, are you not going to give me face? Chao Qing remained silent. She emitted a sense of hostility. It was obvious that she didn't like Songya. In the past, Chao Qing would still talk to her, though it was just polite words. But ever since the explosion, other than filming, he usually only talked to that B*TCH, Cheng Shi. He was not willing to answer any of the other people's questions and completely ignored them. Seeing that Shi Shang was about to enter, Songya gritted her teeth and returned to her seat. Shi Shang sat back down beside Chao Qing and grabbed onto her hand. What's wrong? Chao Qing looked over to Songya and complained. She came over to talk to me. She's annoying. Then shall we go home? Chao Qing immediately stood up. Okay. The lively table suddenly quieted down. Everyone, will be leaving first, Shi Shang said to them emotionlessly. Then, he took Chao Qing's jacket and led her away. Everyone, after Shi Shang and Chao Qing left, people began to whisper to each other. Cheng Shi spoils Chao Qing too much. She does whatever he says. Hey, I've never seen a woman spoil a man so much. That's strange. The world is big. Anything can happen. I don't think any man can spoil his woman like that. Everyone was silent. Wasn't that right? If Chao Qing said it was one, then it was one. Even if it wasn't one, she would make it one. Whoever dared to say anything against her would get beaten up. Those who have never been spoiled would not understand what it felt like. But for some reason, it made people jealous. Would they be able to make a woman so loyal to them? Songya realized that ever since the Phoenix spell was released, she couldn't get any roles. Even though she already had a script, the other party said they would replace her. She had been banned? Songya couldn't accept this reality. After asking around, she found out that it was young Master Chen. Ever since young Master Chen won the battle against the Jiang family, he began to control the Chen Corporation. Now, he was on par with Lin Junqing. Nobody dared to treat him like a rich kid anymore. Most importantly, he had a powerful backer. No matter what he did, he only succeeded and never failed. He made a lot of money. Songya was just a movie queen with no background. In this industry, if one person was banned, another one would appear. Songya's company also began to talk to her about terminating her contract. She didn't care how much money she had to pay. Songya wasn't having a good time. Du Yuan wasn't having a good time either. Ever since God of Heaven was released, he went abroad to film. Who knew that when he returned, he would also be banned? Du Yuan asked many people but none of them could help. His only way out was to go abroad. But the foreign market wasn't that easy. Du Yuan wore sunglasses and a mask. He sat in the car and stared at the neighborhood with a gloomy expression. When he saw the person he was waiting for, Du Yuan got off the car and dashed over. Cheng Shi, are you going to force me into a dead end? Shi Shang pulled Chao Qing back. Mr. Du, I left you a way out. You call that a way out? Du Yuan was losing control. He was famous in this country but he was nothing overseas. Du Yuan's gaze landed on Chao Qing. You like this pretty boy that much? Back then, you helped me suppress him. Aren't you afraid he'll get back at you? Chao Qing. He and Chao Qing graduated from the same school but he was always suppressed by Chao Qing. That time, he stopped him from entering the entertainment industry forever. God was on his side. When his mother got into trouble, he didn't have time to rise. But now he was back. Shi Shang turned to look at Chao Qing. Will you get back at me? Chao Qing shook her head obediently. Shi Shang shrugged at Du Yuan. I saw it. He won't. You believe what he says? Du Yuan was furious. You think he'll forgive you after what you did to him? Cheng Shi, don't be naive. That's my business. It's none of your business. Du Yuan pointed at Shi Shang. His eyes were red as he threatened. You'll regret this one day. He didn't want to lose his pride in front of Chao Qing. He couldn't. Definitely not. Du Yuyuan left and only vented his anger after he got into his car. After a long time, he dialed a number. "Pack your stuff. We're going abroad." The person on the other end of the line said something that completely infuriated Du Yuyuan. "You think I want to go abroad? Cheng Shi wants to ban me. She has the Chen family behind her. What do I have to fight against her? I won't admit defeat like this. I will come back." Du Yuyuan shouted and threw his phone away. A passing car ran over it and turned it into dust. He looked at the two people walking further and further away, and the unwillingness to admit defeat in his heart grew stronger and stronger. Chapter 1450. Compared to Du Yuyuan's comeback, Songya wasn't as calm. The company terminated her contract and the people she offended before began to kick her when she was down. It wasn't easy for her to find a way out. But before she could settle down, the person she was relying on was taken away. After a few failed attempts, Songya's heart turned cold. She spent her days drowning her sorrows in alcohol. When she saw the popular Phoenix chant, and how Chao Qing became popular with the Phoenix chant, she couldn't suppress the hatred in her heart. One day, Songya suddenly appeared at a press conference. Like a maniac, she held a knife and went up to Shi Sheng. Getting hit was a small matter when she committed a crime in public. Apparently, Shi Sheng sued Songya. Not only did he accuse her of attempted murder, but he also accused her of many other crimes. There was plenty of evidence and even witnesses. Ever since that incident, everyone in the industry learned one thing: offend anyone but Cheng Shi. Lin Cixi never dared to go against Shi Sheng again. She didn't want to end up like Songya. Lin Cixi and Shi Sheng had no grudges. Their past grudges were settled. If she didn't come out and cause trouble, Shi Sheng wouldn't go looking for trouble. The popularity of the Phoenix chant made Chao Qing famous. At the same time, Yuan Ruola also became famous because of the golden years. Shi Sheng accepted this role for her. It was about a group of trendy young people. Yuan Ruola played the second female lead. She was a very talented girl with a bright personality. Her image and temperament were perfect for her. She was the focus of the entire drama. In the end, she died. She died in a snowstorm and used her life to complete her last work. Sometimes, only death could leave a deep impression. A role like this had its highlights and was also controversial. Because she wasn't completely on the female lead side, but she wasn't completely against her either. Yuan Ruola's value doubled because of this role. The golden years also started a trend in the industry. That same year, Shi Sheng founded a company called Interstellar Entertainment. There were only two artists in the company. One was Yuan Ruola and the other was Chao Qing. Everyone in the company only worked for those two. Many artists in the industry were jealous. When Cheng Shi got into trouble, if they knew this day would come, they would have stood on her side no matter what. Sadly, they didn't know this sooner. Little zombie. Isn't it because of young Master Chen? What was there to be proud of? Yuan Ruola was dating Chen Yi, and Chen Ye's relationship with Cheng Shi was unclear. The relationship between these people might be messy. Guan Guan Ju Jiu. What do you mean by relying on young Master Chen? Cheng Shi was the one who found all of Yuan Ruo's shows. It has nothing to do with young Master Chen. As for Chao Qing, he didn't even need to be mentioned. His starting point was to be the male lead. No matter how much face young Master Chen had, there was no way he could make such a big drama use a newbie as the male lead. Meow meow. What's the relationship between Chen Yi and Cheng Shi? Memory metal. Aren't the couples already fixed? The relationship between Chen Yi and Cheng Shi is definitely not what you think. When has there been rumors in the circle that Chen Yi and Cheng Shi have met in private? She spends all her time with Chao Qing. You people shouldn't think too much. Can't other people have friends? Everyone knew that Chen Yi had a relationship with the Shi Sheng, but neither side came out to explain what the relationship was. People in the circle could only guess. Some people even said that Chen Yi kept Shi Shang and the Shi Shang kept Chao Qing. These people sure are funny. Yuan Ruo laughed until she couldn't straighten her back. It's a good thing young Master Chen isn't here. If he was, he'd be so angry he'd jump up and down. You have a lot of free time? Have you read the script? Shi Shang took the tablet from her hand and tossed it to the side. Yuan Ruo stopped laughing. Lin Junqing is still bothering you? Yuan Ruo's expression changed. Yes, young Master Chen picks me up every day but can't stop him from showing up in front of me. What do you think he sees in me? She wasn't very pretty and her figure was average. Why would a big shot like Lin Junqing take a fancy to her? Shi Shang saw Yuan Ruo's expression and knew that she no longer liked Lin Junqing. How are things between you and young Master Chen? Shi Shang asked again. Yuan Ruo was strangely silent for a while. Young Master Chen asked me to go home with him. He said he wants to deal with his father. Sister Cheng Shi, do you think I should agree? That's your business. I don't know what to do. Young Master Chen has helped me a lot. If I refuse, I'll be too ungrateful. But if I agree, then I'll be meeting his parents. How will I explain myself in the future? Yuan Ruo had struggled with this for a long time. Okay. Shi Shang packed up his things and stood up. Yuan Ruo. What was that? Sister Cheng Shi, give me a solution. However, Shi Shang packed up his things quickly and left. Yuan Ruo checked the time. Chao Qing was in training. She should have gone to pick her up at this time. Why didn't she have such a caring boyfriend? Why was she suddenly jealous of a man? Yuan Ruo shook her head and went to read the script. Her new movie was about to start filming. Recently, young Master Chen had annoyed her so much that she had no time to think. If Sister Cheng Shi found out that she wasn't doing her job properly, she would be scolded. The moment Shi Shang picked up Chao Qing, young Master Chen called and asked her out for dinner. Young Master Chen, are you trying to satisfy the netizens? The netizens said they didn't see them together, but young Master Chen showed up. What? Young Master Chen was a little confused but quickly threw that thought to the back of his head. Ms. Cheng, there's something I want to talk to you about. You can pick a place. I'm busy. I'm busy too. Young Master Chen whined. Shi Shang's lips twitched. If you have something to say it over the phone. He doesn't want me to see you. Young Master Chen was eerily silent. Ms. Cheng, are you being too strict with your husband? You don't look like that kind of person. This woman was very decisive and calculated every step she took. How come when it came to Chao Qing, she was like a completely different person? I like to. What's it to you? If you have something to say, just say it. Young Master Chen heard her tone and knew that she wouldn't agree to eat with him. He thought about it. I wanted to ask you, what does Ruola like? How should I know? Young Master Chen was waiting for an answer nervously. However, Shi Shang's question made him ask, aren't you her manager? I'm her manager, not her mother. Young Master Chen. Do you know you'll get fired if you act like this? Young Master Chen forced himself to calm down. Then you should know when her birthday is, right? I don't know. Are you really her manager? Young Master Chen emphasized on the last part of his sentence. I don't have a crush on her. Why would I know that? Are you crazy? Young Master Chen. How could there be such a refreshing manager? Young Master Chen hung up in anger. Within a minute, he called back and asked Shi Shang to keep it a secret and not tell Yuan Ruola that he asked. Chapter 1451. In the following days, Shi Shang, other than flattering Chao Qing, gave Yuan Ruola pointers on her future. Under Shi Shang's guidance, the naive and sweet female lead decided to abandon her love life and dedicate her passion to her career. Shi Shang expressed that she really didn't say anything. He didn't know what kind of poisonous chicken soup Yuan Ruola made up for herself. Yuan Ruola was on fire. Chen Yi watched as more and more people gathered around her. His heart felt stifled. The only good thing was that he still had the title of her boyfriend, so he could openly chase away all the men around her. However, there was one thing that pissed him off. Lin Junqing kept trying to impress him in front of his girlfriend whenever he had the time. In the business world, they fought against each other. In the love world, neither of them would back down. Chen Yi stared at the car parked outside the theater and gritted his teeth. He turned off the car and walked over. He knocked on the car door. The car window rolled down. Lin Junqing sat inside and stared at him casually. Chen Yi leaned against the window with one hand. "Mr. Lin, the East China project is about to start. Why are you here? Aren't you busy with the acquisition of Hongyi? If Mr. Chen has the time, so do I." Lin Junqing paused. "I heard the acquisition isn't going well." "It's all because of you." Chen Yi was furious. The business world is like a battlefield. Lin Junqing smiled gently and politely. "Mr. Chen, you don't need me to teach you this, do you?" "You." There was a commotion behind him. Chen Yi turned around and saw Yuan Ruola being escorted out by her assistant. Chen Yi gave up on his argument with Lin Junqing and headed over. "Ruola." Yuan Ruola was surrounded by fans when she heard a familiar voice. She looked up, but before she could see who it was, a car stopped in front of her. Shi Shang waved at her and gestured for her to get in. Yuan Ruola was startled. Her manager hadn't picked her up in hundreds of years. Every now and then, she had to behave herself. She ignored the person who called her and quickly got into the back seat. Chao Qing turned around to look at her. Then, as if nothing had happened, she continued to read the book in her hand. Yuan Ruo breathed a sigh of relief. When the car started, she looked to the other side and saw Chen Yi standing there with a strange expression. She could only use her phone to text him. Young Master Chen was desperate. It was bad enough that he had a rival in love, but why was there an agent trying to snatch her away from him? "Young Master Chen, it seems like you're not that important to her." Lin Junqing's voice drifted over. He had gotten out of the car at some point and was standing behind him. Chen Ye's phone vibrated and he instinctively glanced at it. Then, he turned around with a smile and waved the phone in front of Lin Junqing. "No matter what, I'm her boyfriend." Lin Junqing's eyesight was very good. He saw the sentence above. "Sister Cheng, she picked me up. Something must have happened. I'll call you later." His face immediately darkened. "Don't think that I don't know that you guys are just putting on a show. It's not certain who she will choose in the end." Two people who had no relationship with each other suddenly got together. He immediately knew that there was something fishy going on. At first, he didn't think much of this second-generation rich kid. After all, he didn't really care about Yuan Ruola. It was like he was just completing a mission. However, he didn't know when he started to care about Yuan Ruola. Only then did he realize the danger. "Even if we're just putting on a show, I'm still her boyfriend." Young Master Chen hissed, pushed Lin Junqing away, and walked away. Lin Junqing. Inside the car, Yuan Ruola carefully peeked at Chao Qing. "Sister Cheng Shi, if you need anything, just call me. You don't have to come pick me up." The main thing was, she didn't have to bring this person to pick her up. "I'm taking you to the audition. I'm just passing by." Shi Shang answered casually, "You can improvise later." "Huh? What kind of show?" The naive girl was still naive. Anti-Japanese drama. Yuan Ruola. "Manager, are you joking?" While the naive girl was confused, Shi Shang said softly, "The movie, Wind and Cloud. I'm showing you the second female lead. If you want to be the female lead, that's fine. But you might not get chosen. You want to hit someone? What kind of manager are you? What's so special about the second female lead?" Yuan Ruola always listened to Shi Shang. Whatever role he gave her, she would get it. "Special?" Shi Shang paused strangely. "Does being super dumb count?" "Sister Cheng Shi. What kind of weird role did you show me this time?" This role will be played throughout the entire movie. It's a very important role, but it's a little dumb. But you're just playing yourself. That's fine. Sister Cheng-shi, please don't doubt my intelligence. Shi Shang chuckled and didn't say anything else. Yuan Ruola went online to search for Wind and Cloud. However, there was a TV series with the same name online. She didn't know anything about Wind and Cloud. Whatever. After all, her manager was very resourceful. It wasn't strange for her to know something like this. Only after Yuan Ruola found out, did she realize that Wind and Cloud was having a secret audition. Everyone who came was either a big shot or a big shot. She even saw an international big shot. Before she went in, she signed a confidentiality agreement. She wasn't allowed to spread what she saw or heard to the outside world. If she did, she would be held accountable. Was this a secret agent audition? When she saw Chao Qing, who was standing beside her, she became even more nervous. Chao Qing glared at the woman before her and quickly signed her name. Then, under the guidance of the staff, she entered the room. This was Yuan Ruola's least successful audition so far. When she came out, she was a little disheartened. This time, she was probably not going to make it. She looked up to Shi Shang. She didn't know how long that man had been out for, but he was quietly sitting by her side. Most of the time. That man was always so quiet. It was like all he needed to do was quietly watch over her. Let's go. Shi Shang saw her come out and didn't ask how she felt. Instead, he asked her to leave. After they got into the car, Shi Shang explained, Wind and Cloud is director Zhao Hai's final film. It doesn't matter if you don't make it. Just do your best. Zhao Hai, the legend of the directing industry. No wonder so many people came and the confidentiality was so high. The crew of Wind and Cloud quickly called Shi Shang. Chao Qing made it, but Yuan Ruola didn't. Yuan Ruola knew this would happen, so she didn't react much. She followed her original plan and did what she was supposed to do. Who knew that 3 days later, Shi Shang would tell her to pack up and report to the crew of Wind and Cloud. Didn't I make it? Yes, something happened to that actor. Out of all the actors who auditioned, you were the only one who did okay. Sister Cheng-shi, tell me honestly, did you do something in secret? Shi Shang rolled his eyes. You think I'm a *****? Do you think someone like Zhao Hai can be bought with money? If money could be bought with money, then she would have bought with money from the beginning. Yuan Ruola scratched her head. That made sense. A director like Zhao Hai wouldn't bend over money. Chapter 1452. Joining the crew of Wind and Cloud meant stepping onto a new level. Though Yuan Ruola was still naive, she wasn't as dumb as before. At least she learned to be cautious. Chao Qing, on the other hand, was a little different. Luckily, she didn't have many scenes, so she didn't have to interact with these people. Plus, her acting skills were good. Every time she finished a scene, she would leave. Though Wind and Cloud was Zhao Hai's final film, it was still aiming for awards. Therefore, when filming, everything had to be perfect. Progress was slow. After Wind and Cloud finished filming, it was the Chinese New Year. Chao Qing's other New Year drama started airing. The moment it started airing, it received a lot of good reviews. Of course, there were also a lot of bad reviews. While some people liked it, others didn't. Shi Shang browsed through the comments online and began to attack. Cheng-shi v. I will spoil him. I want to. If you don't like it, go find someone else to spoil you. Cheng-shi v. What are you saying? You want a man to spoil you so you can live? Can you be a little more ambitious? A woman who doesn't want to spoil her man is no different than a salted fish. Cheng-shi v. So what if I'm rich? I'm willing to use money to make him popular. I didn't use your money. Why are you so agitated? Shi Shang was busy replying when his phone was suddenly snatched away. A face appeared before him and complained, "How can a phone be prettier than me?" "Shi Shang. Why are you jealous of your phone? You're the prettiest." Shi Shang forced out a smile. "Okay, so stop looking at your phone." Chao Qing shoved her phone back into her pocket. Shi Shang watched as his phone was taken away. He scratched his head and was a little angry. "You won't let me sleep and you won't let me play with my phone. Do you want to die?" Ever since he regained his memory, he never let her touch him. The most embarrassing part was when he stripped her naked. Chao Qing didn't speak. Shi Shang pushed her down onto the sofa and snatched the phone back. "I didn't show my power when I didn't do anything. You want to do whatever you want? Don't think that just because I spoil you, I won't hit you. I'll hit you." Shi Shang sat back down and continued to play with his phone. Chao Qing laid on the sofa and tugged Shi Shang's arm. The Shi Shang ignored him, and he continued to pull. Shi Shang was annoyed and glared at her. "What are you doing? Don't be angry." Shi Shang said with a straight face, "I'm not angry." Shi Shang typed furiously on his phone before putting it down. He looked at the person beside him and asked, "Why didn't you let me touch you?" Chao Qing tilted her head in another direction and said softly, "Every time I see an unfamiliar face in your eyes, I feel uncomfortable." Shi Shang pinched his chin and forced him to turn around. "But that's all because of you." "I know." But he just couldn't accept it. "Give me some time, let me get used to it." Shi Shang loosened his grip and glanced at him. "Yes," he replied softly. "Can you promise me something?" Chao Qing asked for more. "Speak." Chao Qing's expression turned serious. "Before I regain my memory, don't do anything with me. Not even kissing." Okay. But you can't." "That." Chao Qing stuttered. For some reason, her face turned red. Shi Shang fell silent. Chao Qing waited for a while and carefully held onto his hand. Can you promise me that?" Every time she didn't speak, he felt anxious. His heart raced non-stop as he was terrified that she would get angry. After a while, Shi Shang lifted his head and smiled. "Okay." Shi Shang patted his head. "Don't think too much. If you don't like it, then we won't do it. We'll do it when we get back." "It's not that I don't like it." Chao Qing paused. "I just can't get over it. Maybe I just need to get used to it." "Okay, I know." She wouldn't force him to do something he didn't want to do. Shi Shang stood up but Chao Qing grabbed onto him. "Xiao Shang, can you tell me what you want?" Why did she agree to Caesar's request? She wasn't someone who would compromise easily. Even if it was for him, she shouldn't. Shi Shang turned around and sat on top of him. He wrapped his arms around his neck and rested his chin on his shoulder. Chao Qing instinctively hugged him back. She nibbled on his ear and said in a warm voice, "The main reason I need time is because of you." She wasn't going to lie to him. She didn't agree to Caesar's request entirely because of him. "Can't you say something else?" Shi Shang changed his position and leaned into his arms. He then pointed his middle finger at the sky. Chao Qing was a little confused before she realized what was going on. If the mainframe was going to do the test, then it must have a way to monitor them. Thinking about it made Chao Qing even more determined not to do something so embarrassing. "Just trust me." "Okay, I trust you." Chao Qing was getting more and more popular. Even Shi Shang, the manager who would hit people whenever he didn't like them, was getting more and more popular. He was now considered one of the more capable managers in the industry. After all, no manager dared to hit people whenever they didn't like them. The key point was that there was no manager who would still be unwavering in beating people up after they had beaten them up. They were simply a clear stream among the managers. Her fans were also like a stream of fresh water. They could criticize her, but they couldn't allow others to do that. Therefore, whenever something big happened, Shi Shang's anti-fans would attack other people's true fans. Then, when they were done, the anti-fans would come back to attack her. There was even a post on the internet titled, all the best actors and actresses who were hit by Cheng Shi. At the end of the post, Shi Shang was given an Oscar for Best Manager Who Hit People. Because of Wind and Cloud, Chao Qing won the Best Supporting Actor award. Just as he was about to present the award, the system popped up. Host, mission completed. You may choose to be teleported to the next world. Shi Shang narrowed his eyes. There's no other choice? You may choose to be teleported after natural death. I will teleport after natural death. But face. The systems but tightened. Host. What is it? Let me ask you something. No. Host, I refuse to answer any of your questions. Anything. The system didn't want to talk to its host at all. Honestly, it just wanted to be a pretty face. Shi Sheng obviously didn't care. He continued to ask, what if something happens to me when I die and I can't be teleported back? The system sighed in relief when it heard that it wasn't a question about secrets. Host, don't worry. With my master here, that won't happen. I can guarantee you that. Really? Of course. My master is amazing. When Caesar was mentioned, but Face became very excited. He was blindly admiring him. Shi Shang snorted coldly. You're pretty good. Don't think I can't tell that you're being sarcastic. Asterisk the 42nd world ended. Don't be nervous when there's a new world. Hashtag today, I'm begging 4 votes. Hashtag vote for me, cuties. Chapter 1453. After the award ceremony, Yuan Ruola excitedly went up to Shi Shang with the trophy. Sister Cheng Shi, this is for you. Why are you giving it to me? She couldn't eat it and couldn't sell it. Plus, it took up a lot of space. I don't want it. Without you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Of course, I'm giving it to you. Yuan Ruola shoved the trophy into Shi Shang's arms. Before she could put it down, the trophy was thrown away and replaced by another trophy. Young Master Chen caught the trophy in shock. He looked around and saw that he wasn't hurt. He sighed in relief and glared at the man who threw the trophy away. You're precious? My Ruola's isn't. Damn it. Yuan Ruola must have been hit hard. Sister Cheng Shi. Chao Qing glared at her and walked out with her arms around Shi Shang. She exuded an unapproachable aura. Yuan Ruola. Young Master Chen. Yuan Ruola wanted to chase after her, but the reporters surrounded them and separated them. By the time Yuan Ruola dealt with the reporters, Shi Shang and Chao Qing were long gone. She held onto the trophy in disappointment. Young Master Chen, Sister Cheng, she doesn't care about me anymore. Back then, she promised her that she would help her stand on the international stage. She did it. But ever since she became more and more popular, Sister Cheng, she rarely asked about her. Other than when she was filming, she was rarely seen. Chao Qing, on the other hand, was always by his side. He really wasn't her boyfriend. You still have me. Young Master Chen slapped his chest. She has her own business to do and doesn't have time to spend with you. But I do. Yuan Ruola sniffed. I'm just a little sad. I feel like there's an invisible wall between Sister Cheng Shi and me. We'll walk further and further apart until we're strangers. She's cold-blooded and heartless to everyone. Back then, she... Young Master Chen swallowed his words. Back then, she chose you because she needed an artist. But she treats Mr. Chao differently. There was no invisible wall between them. There was only chemistry and trust. Chao Qing knew what he wanted to do and what he wanted to say with one look and one action. She knew what she liked and what she didn't like. The internet always said that Chao Qing was being kept by Sister Cheng Shi. When she gets tired of him, she'll dump him. But with such tacit understanding and trust, how could they break up? It sure is strange. Chen Yi mumbled. Chao Qing seemed to treat him differently. The most important thing was that Chao Qing was someone who would show her one side and turn her back on her. She was someone who changed her attitude faster than flipping a book. Young Master Chen pushed down those thoughts. Chao Qing is her boyfriend. Of course it's different. You're my girlfriend. You're with me. You're different. Yuan Ruola looked up at Chen Yi and raised her hand to wipe the corners of her eyes. Chen Yi, when are we going to end our relationship? Chen Yi. What did he mean by ending their relationship? Had he been dumped? What did that bastard Lin Junqing do behind his back? Chen Xiao's mind was flooded with all kinds of information. Finally, it circled back to the 4 words he was dumped, and then it was an infinite flood. The surrounding sounds seemed to have disappeared at this moment, leaving only an endless silence. Chen Yi, I'm talking to you. Yuan Ruola waved her hand in front of Chen Ye's face. Chen Yi snapped back to reality and his face looked ugly. His gaze was a little unfocused. After a while, he said with difficulty, I understand. I'll find a chance to talk to you. Yuan Ruola pursed her lips. Then, I'll wait for your news. Chen Yi nodded carelessly and spoke quickly. I'll ask the driver to take you back. I have a meeting to attend. Chen Yi didn't dare to stop. He ignored the voice calling him from behind and used the fastest speed in his life to leave this place. She wanted to end their relationship. Chen Yi didn't show up for a few days. On the 3rd day, Yuan Ruola called him. After it rang, he hung up. When she called again, a cold female voice reminded her that his phone was turned off. Yuan Ruola panicked and ran to the company to find him. However, she was told that Chen Yi was out of the country for a meeting. Yuan Ruola had no choice but to call Shi Shang. Sister Cheng Shi, why is Chen Yi avoiding me? Does he not like me? Shi Shang was confused. What do you mean? On the day of the award ceremony, I told him that we were ending our relationship and starting over. However, he didn't answer my calls and didn't want to see me. Does he not like me? Yuan Ruola's voice was a little choked and her expression wasn't very clear. They weren't together willingly in the beginning. She wanted to start over again. But are you sure you didn't say anything that would make him misunderstand? Chen Yi definitely liked Yuan Ruola. Otherwise, he wouldn't have called her and asked her those inexplicable questions. No. Yuan Ruola recalled. She expressed herself very clearly at that time and didn't say anything that would make him misunderstand. Shi Shang was silent. Then are you sure that after you said you were ending your relationship, he was still awake and heard the rest of your words? Damn it. A melodramatic misunderstanding. Later on, the man would go abroad heartbroken. Many years later, he would inadvertently find out that he didn't hear the rest of the words and that the goddess had already married. From then on, their relationship would deepen. Yuan Ruola tried hard to recall. He should have heard it? I'm not very sure. I was very nervous at that time and didn't pay attention to his face. Sister Cheng Shi, what should I do now? Shi Shang sighed. I'll help you find out where he is. You can go directly. Will this work? Girl, if you continue to hesitate, love will belong to someone else. I got it. Thank you, Sister Cheng Shi. Shi Shang quickly sent the address to Yuan Ruola. She bought a ticket for the same day and flew to the country where Chen Yi was. Yuan Ruola had never been to this place. She didn't know the language and didn't speak well here. She finally found the address that Shi Shang gave her, but was told that Chen Yi had just left. Yuan Ruola leaned against the marble outside, discouraged. The green vines above her head hung down and sprinkled a small shadow around her. She used all her courage to chase him here from home, but did she still have the courage to continue? Girl, if you continue to hesitate, love will belong to someone else. Yuan Ruola took a deep breath, took out her phone and quickly wrote a Weibo post. Yuan Ruola v. Chen Yi, I don't know if you heard what I said the other day. If you didn't, please listen to me again. Let's end our relationship and start over. I like you. I'll wait for you here. Picture, Ali Xiang. Huh? A fancy confession? Rich people nowadays really know how to play. Mushroom, mushroom, Ruola looks so sad. Oh, what did Chen Yi do? Did he bully our Ruola? There's a little yellow chick in my dream. Ugly people are always mischievous. Ruola, Ruola, what are you talking about? Don't make your presence known here. Is it your turn to talk about our Ruola? As a boyfriend, it's my fault for making my girlfriend cry like this. Ruola can punish me however she wants. When he heard those words that day, he was completely stunned. She seemed to have said something after that, but his ears were buzzing and he couldn't hear anything clearly. Young Master Chen regretted it to death. If he had calmed down that day, today's incident would not have happened. Fortunately, he now knew. Thank you, my dear girl, for coming so far. Later, Yuan Ruola asked him if they would have really been separated if she hadn't gone to find him that day and posted that Weibo. Young Master Chen answered very seriously. Even if she hadn't posted that Weibo, he had planned to go back and find her to explain it to himself. Of course, this was a story for later. At this time, young Master Chen was traveling abroad with his current girlfriend. Shi Shang called him several times, but young Master Chen rudely hung up. In the end, he simply posted a statement on Weibo. Third young Master Chen. Miss Cheng, thank you for taking care of her before. From now on, I will be responsible for everything about Yuan Ruola. I will make her the most dazzling girl in the world. Cheng Shi V. F***ck off. Tell her to get back to I as soon as possible. As long as the contract hasn't expired, she belongs to I. Don't try to get any ideas from I. Young Master Chen, Yuan Ruola chuckled. Don't go against Sister Cheng Shi. She's scary when she's angry. Let's go back. If it weren't for Sister Cheng Shi this time, she wouldn't have the courage to go abroad. Didn't you say that she doesn't care about you? Why are you speaking up for her? Yuan Ruola widened her eyes. That's not what I meant. Sister Cheng Shi treats me well. I just don't think we're from the same world. Though Sister Cheng Shi didn't take her to events, she was there to pick out scripts, audition, and negotiate contracts. She would never let her suffer. She would also make sure she was present at events. Compared to Chao Qing's luxurious treatment, Yuan Ruola's treatment was like a beginner's. She met Chao Qing first, so it was natural for her to feel different. It's best if you don't go to her world. Young Master Chen's lips twitched. Don't worry. I'll spoil you the way she spoils Chao Qing. She had money and so did he. Don't. Yuan Ruola quickly waved her hand. You don't have the ability to argue with people like Sister Cheng Shi. I don't want to be slandered and have no one to help me. You dare to question me? Young Master Chen squinted his eyes dangerously. Was he no better than a woman? No, no. Yuan Ruola shook her head and explained, Young Master Chen, you are different from Sister Cheng Shi. Other than Mr. Chao, she doesn't care about anything. She doesn't care what other people say or do. As long as it's not in front of her, she ignores it most of the time. But you are different. You have a corporation behind you and you are the heir to the Chen family. You have a lot of things to care about. You can't be as willful as her and do whatever you want. Young Master Chen was silent. It was true that he had a lot of things on his shoulders. She had the ability to make money and was decisive. A capable woman who didn't lack money had the ability to do whatever she wanted. Young Master Chen sighed. I suddenly envy her. Yes, Sister Cheng, she sure is enviable. Yuan Ruola nodded. She told me before that she only sees two things about people. She likes them and she doesn't. Young Master Chen was surprised. Then I'm one of those people? Back then, she suddenly asked him to work with her and rejected him right then and there. She also asked him to solve a difficult project for the corporation. Whatever. She thinks it's tiring to talk to someone she doesn't like. Yuan Ruola leaned against young Master Chen with some nostalgia in her eyes. I remember the first time I saw her at school. She was squatting in front of our school's convenience store and eating melon seeds. You definitely can't imagine it. Don't look at how she usually pretends to be high and mighty. In life, she is actually quite casual. Well, when I came out, she suddenly called me and asked me to squat over. At that time, I don't know if it was too hot or my mind wasn't clear. I squatted over in a daze. Then I finished talking about the contract with her there. I didn't react until I was fooled by her to sign it. Can you imagine that a famous star was ignored in front of the school's convenience store to sign a contract? If she was given another chance, she would still choose to sign the contract that belonged to her in front of the school's convenience store that afternoon. Ruola. Asterisk the first male supporting character who wrote a chapter but didn't have a name, ha ha ha. Chapter 1455. Shi Shang and Qiao Qing had a great time in this world. Whenever they had time, they would argue with the anti-fans, take Qiao Qing on shows, and flaunt their love all over the world. She had only managed 2 artists. However, both of them were at the top of the pyramid and everyone looked up to them. Her company was just a decoration, but it was a decoration that everyone in the industry yearned for. Shi Shang heard that Du Yiyuan was having a hard time overseas. She knew this would happen. It wasn't as easy to survive overseas as it was here. Even if she didn't do anything, Du Yiyuan didn't have any protagonist aura. There was no way he could turn things around. The ones who could turn things around were the main character and the antagonist. All the other cannon fodder could do was watch. When it was almost time, Shi Shang didn't want to see his wife being all lovey-dovey. So, he made the first move. Seriously, I've never seen someone treat someone you like this. Shi Shang's answer was a little mysterious. She said, "You're not going to die. Why are you wasting time? Do you think you're the female lead?" Hee, being the female lead for you must be the most unlucky person in 8 lifetimes. Wait. There was something wrong with the host's words. Buttface analyzed for a long time but couldn't figure out what was wrong. In the end, they had no choice but to teleport to the next world. Yes, this time, there was no transfer point. They would teleport directly from this world to the next world. Everyone knew that Yen Qiu had an insane man of sacrifice. Asterisk cold water wrapped around her body. Her limbs were heavy and she couldn't move at all. The water entered through her nose and mouth, swallowing the oxygen in her lungs. The feeling of suffocation washed over her. It was so uncomfortable that she wanted to kill herself. Shi Shang woke up under these conditions. She couldn't even move. Asterisk. Shi Shang stuck a talisman on herself. Immediately, ripples appeared on her body. The ripples formed a circle and wrapped around her. Like a transparent bubble, the water inside was pushed out. Shi Shang felt like he could breathe again. She fell to the bottom of the bubble and felt a sharp pain in her back. She grimaced in pain and sat up. She touched her back and felt blood on her hand. Shi Shang wiped the blood off his hand and checked out his surroundings. What the hell is this place? There was water in all directions, and her bubbles were floating with the undercurrent in the water. He was wearing a black night suit. It was ancient. Was the original host thrown into the river? Bang! The bubble was knocked over and the Shi Shang spun in a circle. A black shadow swam over from the other side and hit the bubble with its tail, sending it a distance away. Shi Shang's eyes widened. Fuck. Sharks. What kind of river was this? This was AF * King Sea. Ah, the sea, your broad chest is the heaven I yearn for. Ah, the sea. Shi Shang shuddered and quickly stopped his imagination from running wild. The shark outside swam around and came back to hit the bubble with its head. At first, it probably smelled the blood and wanted to eat her. But later, it realized that it couldn't break the bubble. It treated the bubble as a toy and moved quickly. Shi Shang sat inside with an expressionless face, watching the retarded shark take her on a free luxurious swim in the sea. But face, we need to talk about life. The system you are calling is not available. Please try again later. Shi Shang. My system is so awesome. Why don't you give yourself a self-destruct function? When the time comes, you can just say, the system you are calling is initiating self-destruct function. Please try again later. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? If the host has time to argue with me, why don't you think about how to save yourself? The system won't play with you anymore. Go offline. Butt face? Butt face? De Guzzi? Little Guzzi? Shishang called the system several times, but there was no response. Shishang turned his wrist and a knife appeared in his hand. It shone coldly in the dark sea. Shishang squinted his eyes and looked at the knife for a long time. He quickly cut open the clothes on his body with a knife and twisted his body in a difficult position to look behind him. The wound was on her back. She could only see the edge of the wound, which extended to her waist. Her skin was turned outward and white after soaking in the sea water. She was already numb from the pain. Shishang treated the wound simply to ensure that he wouldn't die. Then, under the watchful eyes of the shark, he controlled the air bubble to rise until it floated to the surface of the sea. What entered her eyes was indeed a boundless sea. She couldn't see anything at all. Oh, there are sharks. Her heart is so tired. Can sharks be eaten? I'm a little hungry. Shishang took out a handful of sunflower seeds from the storage space and munched on them. She watched the shark circling around her and sighed after a long time. What kind of melodramatic plot is this? Why am I dancing with sharks in the sea? Flip's table. Shishang lay back in the air bubble with his arms and legs spread out. He accepted the memories in a hopeless manner. The original host's name was Hong Jin. She didn't have any memories before she was 7 years old. All her memories started after she was 7 years old in the 7th Prince's palace. After she was brought to the 7th Prince's palace, she was trained with a group of people. The training was very cruel. They took lives at their hands from a young age. The lives of their companions who ate and lived with them. They only had one thought, to be loyal to their master and never betray him. They were secret guards and men of sacrifice. Hong Jin was very lucky to survive until the end and became the 7th Prince's man of sacrifice. The 7th Prince was very favored. Under the Emperor's pampering, this 7th Prince was also extremely absurd. He dared to do anything. He was proficient in eating, drinking, whoring, gambling, and everything. He didn't know anything about poetry, chess, or painting. What bullying common people on the street, beating people until half of their body was paralyzed. What robbing, forcing people to commit suicide. In any case, this 7th Prince's crimes couldn't be finished even if she wrote a full day and night. Hong Jin was precisely this man of sacrifice. Of course, she couldn't see the real master normally. Only when something happened would the man of sacrifice appear. Moreover, she might not be able to see the 7th Prince. The original host appeared here because the 7th Prince sent her to assassinate the 9th Prince. The reason for the assassination was unknown, but Shishang speculated that if it wasn't for power, then it was for women. However, the original host's assassination didn't succeed. She was directly buried in the sea. The original host's wish wasn't revenge, nor was it to live in seclusion. It was to go to Long Yen City and see the magnificent scenery of peonies. What kind of ghost wish was this? Wasn't it a bit domineering? Host, do you think the magnificent scenery of peonies is so beautiful? Do you know what kind of place Long Yen City is? The system suddenly popped out. Shishang. Who cares what kind of place it is? It belongs to Emperor Ai. She just has to snatch it. Host, do you know what the magnificent scenery of peonies is? Shishang searched through the original host's memories. It's not about looking at flowers. The magnificent scenery of peonies was a metaphor for people. And Long Yen City wasn't a city. It was a courtyard located in the southern suburbs of the capital. There were countless beauties inside. Those who could go there were all high officials and dignitaries. Nonsense. Shishang clicked his tongue. The original host was a woman? Why would she go see beauties for no reason? In the original host's memories, there was no indication that she liked girls. Chapter 1456. In Dahai's broad chest, Shi Shang carefully analyzed Shang Wan's memories. She discovered that the original owner's memories were actually incomplete. For example, she remembered what mission she was going to do, but she didn't remember the specific details of the mission. For death warriors like them, their memories didn't belong to them, so it was completely normal for the original owner to have amnesia. Right now, she only remembered that she was going to Long Yen City to see the peony scenery, but she didn't remember why she was going there. She didn't know whether she should curse or not. Flip the table. There was no plot in the first place, and the original owner had amnesia. How was this plot supposed to be played? How was this supposed to be played? Host, you're so awesome. Even if you don't have memories, you can still play. The system was rejoicing in her misfortune. Dog eye, shut up. After Shi Shang shouted, she saw the shark rushing over at a speed of 240 kilometers per hour. The seawater was split apart, and the waves were split to two sides. It was really a persevering shark. Shi Shang took out the iron sword, flipped over, and the iron sword rose into the air with a whoosh. The shark was too fast and couldn't stop. It directly rushed into the distance and disappeared into the vast sea, leaving behind only layers of waves. Shi Shang lay on the iron sword and let the iron sword fly by itself. Right now, she didn't want to do anything. She just wanted to curse the 18 generations of ancestors of the mainframe. That retarded shark brought her to God knows where. The iron sword flew for a full 3 days and still didn't see the shore. On the 5th day, she finally saw the shore. There seemed to be a small fishing village there. This world didn't have any fantasy elements, so Shi Shang found a deserted place to land. She changed the dressing on her wound, changed into a clean set of clothes, and then walked towards the fishing village. The strange thing was that there was no one in the fishing village. Or rather, there wasn't even a living animal. The entire village was dead silent. Shi Shang walked from one end of the village to the other, but didn't see a single living animal. She could only give up on asking for directions and prepared to continue flying freely, flying randomly. Whoosh! Whoosh whoosh! A rain of arrows shot from her left. Shi Shang's movement to dodge was too big, and it affected the wound on her back, causing her to grimace in pain. F***CK. Which idiot launched a sneak attack? She turned around and swung her sword at the thatched hut. The arrow that was halfway through its flight collided with the sword aura and disappeared in the air. The sharp sword chi swept across and the thatched hut was instantly torn apart. A few black shadows were sent flying and fell heavily on the ground, causing a thick cloud of dust to rise. Shi Shang propped his iron sword against the ground and reached out to touch his back. Damn it, it cracked again. This body's recovery ability seemed to be particularly slow, even with the medicine she had brought with her. Shi Shang looked at the culprits who had caused his wound to open. They were a few men in ordinary clothes. They were in the original owner's memory. It was the 9th Prince's men. The 9th Prince is here? The few people on the other side got up. Each of them had a look of fear on their faces. She had just casually waved her hand, and they were all thrown to the ground. Shi Shang narrowed his eyes, waved his sword, and walked towards them under their terrified gazes. Host, killing people can easily trigger the spatial laws. The system reminded Shi Shang. Is that so? Shi Shang replied casually, but his hand didn't hesitate at all as he swung his sword in that direction. Yeah. A blood-curdling scream resounded throughout the small fishing village. Shi Shang stepped on a corpse and looked up at the sky with a contemptuous expression. Come and kill me if you can. She would be crazy to let go of someone who wanted to kill her. Host, you will be struck by lightning. Shi Shang continued to look up at the sky. The weather was clear, and there was no sign of thunder at all. The tip of the iron sword was propped against the ground. She held the tip of the iron sword and turned it gently. The light refracted by the sword scattered randomly. The fragmented light in the girl's eyes made her face look flirtatious and seductive. She curled the corners of her lips slightly. "See, isn't it fine? Maybe you haven't killed enough people." The system explained with difficulty. "So, as long as I don't kill wholesale, there will be no problem at all," Shi Shang concluded. What kind of experience did the host come up with? Shi Shang searched the fishing village again. Other than the few corpses, there were no other living creatures. So, these people just happened to be here? The ninth prince was quite low-key. It was said that his health wasn't very good and he was a sickly person. Moreover, he was about to get married. This time, he went on a long journey to welcome his bride, Princess Ning Huan of the Xia Kingdom. Originally, the seventh prince wanted to marry Princess Ning Huan. However, the seventh prince wasn't willing and made a big fuss. In the end, the ninth prince was the one to marry her. The seventh prince and the ninth prince didn't get along well. The reason for their enmity was that when they were young, the ninth prince saved someone from the seventh prince out of kindness. Since then, the two became enemies. The seventh prince had the support of the emperor. Naturally, the ninth prince was the one who was punished every time they made a fuss. But this time, the seventh prince wanted to assassinate the ninth prince. It was a bit strange. Although the seventh prince didn't like the ninth prince, he didn't hate the ninth prince to the extent that he wanted to kill him. There might be some dirty things going on behind the scenes. Shi Shang clicked his tongue twice. Anyway, she didn't plan to go back to the ninth prince's residence. Therefore, these things had nothing to do with her now. As long as they didn't come looking for her, everything would be fine. If they wanted to come, they would have to go down and find someone to play mahjong with. She wouldn't be soft-hearted. The safest way was to nip the danger in the bud when it first appeared. This would save her a lot of trouble later. The incident with Caesar and the mainframe was a case of failure. She had to learn from it. "Host, is it really okay for you to say that about my master? My master is doing this for the sake of the entire galaxy." "Oh, then your master is really a saint." Shi Shang's face was full of praise. "How about changing your master's name to Saint Zhe in the future?" "I really want to strangle her to death." Shi Shang couldn't be bothered to talk to Buttface. He dragged the iron sword and left the fishing village. Behind the small fishing village was a mountain, which surrounded the small fishing village in a semicircle. Shi Shang flipped over the mountain and flew for a while. He saw a small town. After asking around, he was dumbfounded. This was King within the borders of the Great Xia. Thinking about it, the Great Xia and the Yen Kingdom were separated by the Milky Way. She had been drifting on the sea for so long that she couldn't differentiate between directions. It wasn't strange for her to be in the Great Xia. However, when she came over, she didn't see the ninth prince's ship. Could they have eaten the ship? Shi Shang scratched his head and threw this thought away. He thought about his own matters. The Mist City was in the suburbs of the Yen Kingdom. She still had to go back to the Yen Kingdom. As for Feng Ci, she wasn't in a hurry. When the time came, she would find him. Begging for votes. 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 Chapter 1457. Is Princess Ning Huan really going to marry into the Yen Kingdom? That goes without saying. I heard that the Yen Kingdom's escort team has arrived. And it's that Yen Wan. Yes, the ninth Prince Yen Wan came in person. Why did he come in person to welcome our princess? After all, he was a prince. I heard that the ninth prince is not very favored. He's also a sickly man. Our princess has suffered. There's nothing we can do about it. If Princess Ning Huan doesn't marry into the Yen Kingdom, the Jin Kingdom and Chu Kingdom will definitely join forces to attack us. By then, we will be homeless and suffer. Sigh. Along the way, Shi Shang heard these words the most. Things like their princess had suffered, the ninth prince might die at any time, and so on. This Princess Ning Huan was extremely famous. She was famous in the world and her beauty could overturn the 7 kingdoms. Now that the world was divided into 7 parts, the Yen kingdom was the strongest and the Xia kingdom was the weakest. The Jin kingdom and Chu kingdom were surrounding the Xia kingdom. Since the Jin kingdom and Chu kingdom had been on good terms in recent years, the Xia kingdom would be annexed sooner or later without external help. The distance between the Yen kingdom and the Xia kingdom was not far. It was only blocked by the Jin kingdom and Chu kingdom. If it was not a war, it would be faster to travel by water. The Xia kingdom did not want to be annexed by the Jin kingdom and Chu kingdom. It was the best choice to form a marriage alliance with the Yen kingdom. Shi Shang inquired about the way back to the Yen kingdom and wanted to hire a carriage to take him back. But when he got on the carriage, he realized that he had no money. He was poor. Poor Shi Shang could only rely on himself to return to the Yen kingdom. She went out of the city first and wanted to find a place where no one was around to take a private plane. Who knew that as soon as she left the city, she would meet a group of people who looked very powerful. When they saw her, they rushed up without saying anything. *CK. The greetings in this world were so enthusiastic. I was scared to death. Where's I's sword? Shi Shang quickly took out his iron sword. When the first person rushed up, he slashed at him. The other person instinctively blocked with his weapon. Then, he watched the iron sword cut through his weapon like a carrot and slashed at him. Blood splattered and dyed the falling leaves red. Shi Shang's figure flashed and swept toward the second one. The iron sword cut through their bodies like light and shadow. They began to lose consciousness before they felt any pain. Shi Shang immediately sheathed her sword and rubbed her back. It's itchy and painful. Her body didn't seem to be poisoned, but the wound wouldn't heal. She had to see a doctor. Your Highness, she seems to be more powerful than before. A group of people who hadn't rushed over looked at Shi Shang from afar. The black-robed man on the horse had delicate features. He frowned slightly and opened his thin lips. 7th brother wants to kill me. I really don't know how I offended him. He was the one who rejected the marriage alliance first, and then it fell on him. Now, he sent people to kill him. He really didn't know what was going on in 7th brother's mind. Your Highness, what do we do now? The 9th prince looked at the person who spoke and said calmly, What's the rush? Are you afraid that you can't deal with her alone? You and Zhenwu go. No matter how powerful a death warrior was, there was only one person. Yes, Your Highness. The 2 people walked out of the group and walked toward Shi Shang. Shi Shang was still touching her back with a strange expression. They walked very carefully, as if they were afraid that she would suddenly rush up. Shi Shang glanced at them from the corner of his eyes. He clenched his iron sword and put down his hand. His expression immediately returned to that of a serious master. Go! The 2 people sped up at the same time and shot toward Shi Shang like cannonballs. The latter just waved his sword slowly. The fallen leaves around them seemed to be summoned and rushed toward her. The originally soft leaves were now taut and straight, looking like sharp hidden weapons. As she waved her sword, the fallen leaves shot toward them. Clang, clang, clang. The fallen leaves hit their weapons like steel needles. The 2 figures were wrapped up by the fallen leaves. When the fallen leaves lost their strength, they fell softly from the sky. Only 2 bloody corpses were left on the ground, covered in leaves. The 9th prince's expression changed. This death warrior wasn't so powerful last time. How long had it been? Could it be that she hid her strength last time? Or had he mistaken her for someone else? The 9th prince looked at Shi Shang's face carefully. It was indeed the same as the person who attacked him on the ship, but this one was dressed in women's clothes. Ah! Your Highness, she's coming. Protect Your Highness. The people around the 9th prince shouted in panic. They protected the 9th prince behind them in the chaos. Shi Shang swept away the people blocking his way and rushed to the 9th prince. The 9th prince's face was a little pale. No one knew whether it was because of fear or because it was his original skin color. The 9th prince pulled the reins and straightened his body. He calmly looked at Shi Shang. May I ask why my seventh brother wants to kill me? Shi Shang looked serious. I don't know. Maybe you didn't take your medicine. The original owner only took orders and didn't ask for the reason. It would be strange if she knew why the seventh prince wanted to kill him. The ninth prince. What did she mean? How dare she talk about her master like that? Did she want to die? Okay, let's not talk nonsense. Let's finish this quickly and pack up. Shi Shang's eyes curved. She didn't want to cause trouble, but they were the ones who wanted to kill her. The ninth prince's remaining people kept retreating. Run! The ninth prince shouted. As if they had been pardoned, they turned and ran, leaving behind a ground full of red betrothal gifts. While those people were running away, Shi Shang also made her move. The ninth prince calmly turned around and rode his horse in another direction. When he couldn't see those people anymore, he reined in his horse, pulled out the soft sword wrapped around his waist, stepped on the horse's back, and flew up. Shi Shang was surprised. It was said that the ninth prince was a sickly person who didn't know martial arts. He didn't expect him to be hiding his strength and biding his time. What the hell was with this male lead setting? Great. Kill every male lead you see. Host, you should be more virtuous. Did the male lead kill your whole family or your whole family? Every time the host saw the male and female leads, it was as if she had been injected with chicken blood. No, he didn't. Shi Shang still had time to reply to the system. Then why do you have to go against them? Personal preference. Personal preference? EXM. It's as simple as how you can mysteriously like someone and hate someone for no reason at all. Shi Shang was multitasking. Even though she was already fighting the ninth prince, she was still replying to system in her mind. I'm speechless. If you like someone, you'll think he's cute even if he kills someone. If you don't like someone, you'll think he's evil even if he doesn't do anything. Asterisk, this is a fake group. Little fairy, I'm so hungry, so hungry. Cherub, eat. Little fairy, I'm not eating. Vote for me. Cherub, bye. Little fairy, I'm starving. You've already lost your cute and beautiful little fairy. Cherub, can you be more shameless? Little fairy, no. Cherub. Chapter 1458. The ninth prince's swordsmanship was very high. Shi Shang couldn't hit him for a long time. Later, Shi Shang felt something was wrong. He might be the male protagonist. It would be strange if she could hit him. The iron sword scratched the ninth prince's hair and lifted his hair crown. His hair fell down and the ninth prince's temperament changed. The female protagonist? Shi Shang didn't pay much attention to the ninth prince before. The ninth prince was also handsome. Although he looked a little feminine, in this era where the male protagonist was always more beautiful than the female protagonist, it was hard to tell whether he was a female protagonist or not. Shi Shang's eyes fell on the ninth prince's chest. The iron sword turned and slashed towards the ninth prince's chest. The ninth prince was still in a daze. Shi Shang suddenly attacked the ninth prince's chest. She didn't react in time and the iron sword slashed through her clothes, revealing her white bra. She quickly covered her chest and her face was red. No one knew whether it was because of anger or shyness. Shi Shang made an exaggerated face. So it's the ninth princess. The female protagonist dressed as a man. Princess Ning Huan, according to the plot, was most likely the male protagonist dressed as a woman. Yen Luan quickly wrapped her clothes around her chest. Her eyes were full of hatred. Today she must kill this person. Yen Luan held her sword again. Compared to before, her moves were fiercer. The air around them was filled with a murderous aura. The two figures were constantly flying through the forest, causing trees to fall from time to time. The sharpness of the iron sword was beyond Yen Luan's imagination. The soft sword in her hand was one of the best weapons in the world. But now, the soft sword was cracked. Where did this man of sacrifice come from? Clang! the soft sword hit the iron sword again. After a crisp sound, the already cracked soft sword broke completely and fell to the ground. Only half of the sword was left in her hand. Yen Luan's body moved back a few steps out of habit. Before she could steady herself, the iron sword came from the side again. In the blink of an eye, a smoke grenade was thrown from afar and exploded in front of Shi Sheng. Smoke billowed and Shi Sheng was forced to stop. However, he did not hesitate to swing his iron sword and activate an AoE skill. The sword chi swept the smoke away. Yen Luan, who was in front of her just now, had disappeared without a trace. There were bloodstains on the ground not far away. The bloodstains meandered into the nearby bushes. Yen Luan must have been injured by the sword chi, as expected of the female lead. Rumble! Shi Sheng blinked and looked up into space. The sky, which had been clear just a moment ago, was now covered with thunderclouds. Even though the lightning had yet to strike, it was still unbearable. F***CK. I shouldn't have caused any substantial harm to the female lead, right? This is F***King torture. I am not convinced. Rumble. The only response to Shi Sheng was the falling thunder and lightning, which looked as if it was going to split the sky open. The strange thunder lasted for more than half an hour. The people in the city were frightened, but they didn't dare to send people to check. When the thunder and lightning dissipated, they organized people to go out and check. The forest was scorched black. They found a lot of gold, silver, jewelry, antiques, calligraphy, and paintings on the official road that crossed the forest. Some of them had been struck and scattered on the ground. Some of them were still in boxes, and the red silk on them was still there. The common people were looting, and the soldiers couldn't stop them. When they sent people over, although they managed to keep most of the gold, silver, and jewelry, some of them were still lost. The common people ran away after looting, and the soldiers only managed to track down a part of them. The rest was still wandering outside and couldn't be recovered. As for who these gold, silver, and jewelry belonged to, the officials could roughly guess. According to the time, the wedding procession of the Yen Kingdom was about to arrive. The gold bars had the unique mark of the Yen Kingdom's royal family. This must be the wedding procession of the 9th prince. The number of the wedding procession was huge. The official was a corrupt one. In order to keep these gold, silver, and jewelry, he made sure that no one would admit to this matter. As for the common people, he threatened them with force, and no one dared to say anything. Fortunately, he ordered people to close the city gates in time that day. Not many common people came out of the city to watch, and some of them ran away after looting. They definitely wouldn't dare to come back, so there was nothing to worry about. Shi Sheng, the culprit who caused the wedding procession to be scattered all over the ground, was now seeing a doctor. "Miss, your wound." The doctor who treated Shi Sheng was a girl. She looked ordinary and had freckles, but her voice was soft and pleasant. "I'd better ask my grandfather to take a look at you. I'm not good at medicine, and I'm afraid I can't treat it well." "No." Shi Sheng refused. "Men and women shouldn't touch each other." The girl thought about it and agreed. She gritted her teeth. "Miss, please wait a moment. I'll ask my grandfather." The girl came back quickly and carefully examined the wound several times. After running back and forth several times, she finally concluded with Shi Sheng. "Miss, my grandfather said that you're probably poisoned." "I don't feel anything strange." Shi Sheng frowned. If she was poisoned, she shouldn't feel nothing. After hearing Shi Sheng's words, the doctor was also a little confused. Mainly because he couldn't examine the wound, so Shi Sheng asked them to treat it casually. In order to heal the wound, Shi Sheng had been in the city all this time. Mainly, she wanted to see if the female lead would come back to collect her wedding procession. As it turned out, the female lead really did come back. She asked about what happened that day. Although no one dared to say it out loud, they all secretly and openly pointed the finger at the government. Yen Luan went to ask for the wedding procession with the identity of the 9th prince, but the government denied it. They said that they had never seen the wedding procession. Even if she was a prince, she couldn't slander others. This was someone else's territory, and Yen Wan was alone. She couldn't do anything to these people. Shi Shang sat in a tea house and watched as Yen Wan was chased out of the government office. She gently swirled the teacup with her fingertips, and her gaze fell on a man on the other side. Judging from his unconventional outfit and temperament, he should be the male lead. Even if he wasn't the male lead, he should be a supporting male lead. Normally, the female lead's wedding procession would be confiscated, and the male lead would think of a way to get it back. Then, he would protect her all the way to the capital of the Xia kingdom. After the female lead married the male lead, they would make love. In the end, she would find out that the male lead was actually a man dressed as a woman, and he was the man who saved her. Then, she would secretly fall in love with him. After a battle of wits and courage, perhaps they would go to war. Then, the male lead would rule the country, and the female lead would return to her female form. From then on, he would have no concubines. In the end, the two of them would live happily together. This was the he version, and there was also the B version. In fact, the male lead was using the female lead. After marrying to the Yen kingdom, he also had other plans. When the female lead fell in love with the male lead, she finally discovered the cruel reality. After a struggle in her heart, the female lead decided to protect the country. In the end, she stood on the opposite side of the male lead. In the end, either the female lead or the male lead would die. Please call me the king of tricks. Chapter 1459. Just as Shi Shang was imagining things, the man came over and pretended to meet the female lead. They talked for a while, then left the yamen and went to the tea house where Shi Shang was. There were no private rooms in this tea house, so they could see her as soon as they came up. However, Shi Shang had no intention of avoiding them. He propped up his chin and waited for them to come up. Unfortunately, when they came up, the waiter walked past Shi Shang to greet them. Their line of sight was blocked, and the two walked in the opposite direction of Shi Shang. Shi Shang. Did I do this for nothing? Was the appearance rate of cannon fodder so low? If it were a supporting female lead with more scenes, she would be discovered even if she tried to avoid them. She was sitting here openly and no one would notice her. Why did she feel suffocated? Host, can you stop stirring up trouble and hurry up and find your wife? Your female lead is still waiting for you to save her. I'm not going to run. What's the hurry? Shi Shang changed his position and propped up his chin. He was so bored that he wanted to fight. You're still injured. The system was about to go crazy. Fight my ass. You're here to date, not to fight. I'm not going to die. What's there to be afraid of? Master, I want to resign. Yen Wan and the man talked for a long time. Shi Shang thought that they would see him when they left, but the waiter came out to steal the show again. Shi Shang. Very good. This waiter has a bright future. The future Oscar is waiting for him. When the waiter sent Shi Shang away, he felt a chill on his back. Shi Shang stood at the entrance of the tea house and looked at the sky with melancholy. You need to work hard to get to the top. Shi Shang didn't stay any longer. If she did, unless she went up to them herself, these two probably wouldn't see her again. Shi Shang slowly rushed back to the capital of the Yen kingdom. When she arrived, it was already winter. She wrapped herself in a fox fur coat and walked into the city in the thick snow. White snow covered the entire city. Everywhere one looked was covered in silver. Snowflakes swirled down from the sky. Pedestrians held umbrellas and walked in a hurry. Children were playing in the snow by the side of the street. The sound of their frolicking added some color to this snow-white world. Shi Shang didn't walk fast without an umbrella, which made him look a little different. Giddy up. Hiya. Get out of the way, people in front, get out of the way. The carriage turned from another street and sped toward the exit of the city. Shi Shang collided with the carriage head-on. In front of her, two children were squatting on the ground. They seemed to be scared out of their wits when they heard the noise and did not move. Shi Shang walked to the side and watched indifferently as the carriage rushed towards the child. "Get out of the way, all of you, get out of the way." The driver's shout didn't make the child move. He seemed to be scared silly. At this moment, a man suddenly rushed out from the Shi Shang's side and pounced on one of the children. He pushed the child to the side, and the carriage sped past them and disappeared into the city gate in a flash. "Child." The woman lay on the ground. She seemed to have been hit by the carriage. She struggled to reach in the other direction. "My child." The child in her arms was fine, but the other child was knocked into the air and fell on the snow. He was unconscious and no one knew if he was dead or alive. That seems to be the seventh prince's carriage. What a sin. The seventh prince is really heartless. Poor children. The onlookers angrily condemned the seventh prince, but in the end, for some reason, the topic shifted to Shi Shang. That girl clearly had time to help the two children, but she acted as if she didn't see it. I don't know what her heart is made of. If she had helped them, they wouldn't have ended up like this. They're so young. Poor children. Shi Shang looked over. The people there didn't avoid her and continued to point at her. The main reason was that she was dressed well. These ordinary people had a strange resistance to high-ranking officials and dignitaries. Since ancient times, the law couldn't punish the majority. There were many of them, so they weren't afraid of trouble. Shi Shang gathered his fox fur coat and said sarcastically, "I'm scared." "Everyone, why don't you pretend to be scared first?" He looked like he was watching a good show. How could he say that he was scared? How could these rich people be so cold-blooded? Shi Shang lifted her foot to leave. Her gaze swept past the few people who were speaking the loudest. Her voice seemed to be frozen in ice in the cold wind, without the slightest ripple. "You guys speak so righteously. Why didn't I see any of you go and see if that child is dead or alive? Can you still save him?" Some people were always preaching justice, but they never took action. They put themselves in the position of righteousness and thought that they could stand on the moral high ground and condemn others. Idiots. On the second floor on the left side of the street, a man leaned against the window and looked at the figure below that was gradually disappearing. The person behind him bent down and reported in a low voice, "Your Highness, that's Hong Jin." The man changed his position and fiddled with the snow on the windowsill with his fingertips. In the blink of an eye, his fingertips had turned white. The snow in the sky became heavier and heavier. It flew over the eaves and landed on the man's hair. He moved slightly and the snowflakes fell from his hair and disappeared into his white cloak. He retracted his hand and sat up straight. The person beside him immediately closed the window and handed him a cup of hot tea. The man took the hot tea and took a sip. The corners of his mouth turned up slightly. "Kill." "Yes." Shi Shang found a place to rest. The wind and snow outside were getting heavier and heavier, and the sound of rustling could be heard. Shi Shang lay on the bed and stared at the ceiling. He didn't close his eyes for a long time. She turned over and glanced at the door from the corner of her eye. There was smoke coming in from the door. Shi Shang narrowed his eyes and sat up from the bed. He wrapped himself in his fox fur coat and rushed to the door. She opened the door with a whoosh. The person outside was still blowing the smoke and staring at Shi Shang. The person's face was covered, but Shi Shang still knew who this person was. It was Zi Jing. The host had trained with them and lived with them for so many years. She could recognize him with just a pair of eyes. Shi Shang used the hilt of his sword to open the smoke tube in his hand. Zi Jing reacted and immediately moved to grab her neck. "Hong Jin, you betrayed Master first. Don't blame me for not remembering our past relationship." "EXM. When did the host betray the seventh prince?" Shi Shang dodged to the side, dodging Zi Jing's attack. She grabbed his arm and flung him against the doorframe. Her sword was placed on his neck with a swoosh. It was so fast that Zi Jing didn't have time to react. Zi Jing. Cold. This was the only feeling he had. Even with his internal energy protecting his body, he couldn't expel the cold air from the sword on his neck. Hong Jin didn't use a sword. Where did she get this sword from? Hong Jin, you really betrayed master. Zi Jing's face was leaning against the door frame. He could only turn his head and speak with difficulty to Shang. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.